It's on now.
Well, hello, all poor souls who have wandered into our five-viewer Twitch stream. Speaking of which, five might be an optimistic number, but
Whatever. I guess I watched it.
uh, I'm Ryan, and I've been a DM for about 3 years with this group and this group only. Uh, I've only really done basic fantasy settings with normal D&D 5th edition. And I'm going to continue with D&D 5th edition, however, this time with a little bit of a different setting. But we'll get to that later. The rest of us we have here is...
Liz, I don't have as big of a background. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
We're already starting off strong with Lizzie cutting out in the middle of saying her
Yeah.
name.
Are you serious? I have a
Yeah.
new mic coming. It's coming. I'll just do this. Okay, that's it.
All right, hi, I'm Karena. Lizzie and I have been playing for the same amount of time, so I don't have a lot of experience either. But this is start of our third campaign, so this should be fun.
I am Matt. If you're coming from my PlayStation community, you might know me as High Class Pig. I actually taught Ryan how to play D&D, and then proceeded to be extremely outclassed by his DM capabilities, and so he is our Dungeon Master. And I'm totally fine with that, because I prefer to play anyway. This is going to be a good time.
We all miss playing.
That's
But this is really just for us. We're going to continue playing our game as we play our game. We have a few house rules, but those will just happen over time. Nobody's going to watch this, so it's fine anyway. But getting into it, you all were born and raised inside the city of Cardinfall. This is the last city in existence. For thousands of years ago, there was what they call the collapse. Suddenly, the plains became unreachable as they began to collapse onto themselves. The Feywilds began to collapse into the sky, and the shadow fell from the earth. Creatures that lived underground had to seek refuge on the surface. Dwarves and drow, Duragar, all seeking the surface, displacing population after population, causing war after war, and all the while, the surface became just as unstable as the Feywild's wild magic began running rampant throughout the material plane. Magic became too volatile and dangerous to rely on. Creatures began to mutate day by day, until eventually people had to seek refuge in the single place that seemed untouched by both forces. An old city called Cardinfall, protected by the Sentinel Forest, a forest that works as a barrier between magical forces and the land. Even now, after all these years, the forces of these colliding planes is forcing its way slowly through the Sentinel Forest. But the people here make do, live within new rules, as one way to put it would be that the bad guys have already won. And this is the story of just the little people getting by. So, all of you have found yourself in prison. For different reasons, some of them minor, some maybe less so. Although your sentences are short or coming to a close. And two of you, Nyx and Quipper, you both wake up inside of your bunks. This is a different cell than you were in yesterday. It seems they had gassed you and put you in a new one, with different cellmates, as is custom in this prison, so to keep people from digging holes or other complex plans. So this is something you expected, but here you are, surrounded by each of you with two new cellmates. If you would like to describe what you look like. and what you do when you first wake up.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Next, I look like. Let me pull up my little description page over here. So, what you see before you is a super tiny person. She has very pixie-like features, very short, like almost bluish, like or purplish black hair. It's like really sharp and spiky. Her features are very sharp. She's so like she's kind of adorable. She's got like a slightly feral vibe about her, but she's cute. She has like a slightly pinkish hue, very slight. Like she just looks, yeah. Um, her eyes are also very sharp, and they're just kind of also like a deep blackish purple color. She doesn't look like she doesn't have pupils or like irises. It's just like there's like a slight differentiation between the pupil and the iris. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn down the background noise just a little bit.
You wake up. You are on the top bunk, and you wake up looking up at the top of this steel ceiling with some dripping water coming from the top, maybe condensation from the cooling system. You smell something that could be human feces or rats or other disgusting stuff, and just a moldy aura around you. Matt.
Oh,
Yeah, and you were on the top bunk. Matt, you were on a different bed than the other two.
Are we all in the same room?
Yes, you are all in the same room. Karenna, you are not in this room. In the bottom bunk below Nyx, there appears to be a half-orc who is not yet awoken. A half-orc man.
Well, I'm just a little halfling guy. I'm just, hanging out. It's pretty comfy cozy. I've been in here a couple times. Not for, like, bad stuff, but just for, like, not great stuff. They like me. They bring me around because I'm fun. That's why I'm here. Not because I did bad stuff or anything. And, the rats and the poop and stuff, you get used to it. It is what it is.
What do you look like?
Nothing too outrageous, particularly. He's just a pretty typical guy. He's got some fancy clothes, but they're not expensive. They're just kind of, he's got like a little jacket going on and like a nice like white undershirt, and he's got a nice little like side part, not like mine, but like a little bit more like wavy almost. And, he's just a pretty basic guy. He's pretty, like, if he was in a crowd of halflings, you probably couldn't pick him out. He's just your typical dude. There's nothing special about this guy, little Quipper over here. He's just hanging out, having a good time.
And what do you do when you wake up? Both of you.
I just give me one of the good little, oh, yeah. Oh. Another day in paradise.
When I wake up, I am going to immediately, like, I'm gonna, like, sort of, like, sit up, and probably if it's, like, I'm really close to the ceiling, I'll probably, like, hit my head on the ceiling and go, ow. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna, like, look around, look at all the people. I'm gonna, like, lay on my stomach and look over the edge at the half-orcs below me.
He's currently laying back on his back in the bed with his mouth hanging open, with you can see two of his tusks sticking out the bottom side of his mouth, a little bit of drool coming outside.
Is there like a rock or like a little, maybe like there's like a little piece of fungus around mold or something? I want to
find mold.
All right, I'm going to take a piece of that, and I'm going to aim for the mouth.
All right. Probably shouldn't have you roll for this, but sure, let's go ahead. Make a dexterity check.
Okay, let me pull up my thing. What dice is he going to use? He's going to use this boy.
to like death while in prison.
Oh! That's a 22!
You toss it in, and it does a thing where it just kind of like lands on one of the teeth and then slides off and down into the mouth, and there's just like a few beats where it goes, dude.
Immediately, like,
this
ducking back on my bed and acting like nothing happened, just like...
this half-orc man like sits up in the bed and he coughs for a second, and then he looks up. Oh, new cellmates, I see. And you see him like start to inspect the top of his bunk, the bed under where you are, looking for something that fell in.
I'll pretend to be asleep for a little bit.
Quippo, I feel like I've heard about you.
Yeah, I get around a little bit. You know, I've been. You ever go to the bar? You ever go to get a little drink?
Well, not in prison.
Well, I mean, but like when you were not in prison, though.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Oh. Well, if you've ever been in prison, you know, you hear the guards talking, and they're like, "Oh man, that little guy, he's so cool." They were probably talking about me.
Quite a lot of special treatment around here. For one, you're
like,
the only one here allowed to wear your clothes, your civilian clothes.
They got a little sick of taking my clothes off like once a week, so they finally were just like, whatever, man, just keep them. You know, I'm not gonna be here that long. I come here often. They were just like, ah.
What are you in here for?
You know, wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. They were looking for some big bad guy, and you know, I was there, and they were like, "Did you see the bad guy?" And I was like, "No, I didn't see the bad guy." And they were like, "Well, we're gonna find out if you saw the bad." That was kind of it, though. I didn't actually see anybody. They were just, you know, apparently some big guy walked past me, and I didn't even see him. But you gotta ask me questions and stuff, so here I am.
Well, that is certainly unfortunate. Seems like they get the wrong people all the time. But
like I said,
it seems like. Yeah. And I should note, while we are at this, this is a work prison, as with almost all prisons here. Your bail is set at a certain amount of money. Your time is based on a certain amount of money. You serve your sentence by working and making money. And once you make enough money, which you pay to the state or debtors, you are freed. Until, of course, you owe somebody money again, or commit a crime in which you owe the state more money. A corrupt system, surely, but nonetheless the one you are stuck in. Each of you have been placed in different jobs. Sometimes based on respective skills, sometimes to just keep you there forever, depending on the prison. All three of you have found yourselves into working in the workshops. Nyx, for instance, you originally didn't work in the workshops, you worked in the gardens and the farming areas, but after some mishaps, you now work in the workshops. Quipper, you used to work in a few other places, but eventually a really nice, easy spot opened up in the workshop that allowed you to pretty much do nothing, and you jumped at the opportunity.
I just gotta hang out. You know, the guards like me. Like I said, you know, they're like, oh, that guy, he plays music while we eat dinner, so we don't want to be too tired from working all day to play music. We gotta have music.
It's your job to unfold boxes and set them up for other people to put actual things in. All right, so what would the two of you like to do?
I'm just chilling.
Wait.
This is like.
Did the half-orc? The
house.
half-orc didn't say why he was in, right?
No.
All right. I'm just gonna slowly roll over and just kind of sort of get close to. Is the half-orc like standing up, or is he just sitting in his bunk?
He's sitting in his bunk.
Okay. Then I'll just lean over again. I'll be like, "What are you here for?"
I have not seen you around. I'm here for spirit worship, as they call it.
Cool.
All right.
You gonna ask me why I'm here?
Ah, right. Why are you here?
I'm here because I had quote unquote minor possession charges.
Did you possession of?
Drugs.
Ah,
That'll get ya.
now are these like just drugs for drugs use, or did you use them for spiritual purposes?
They were just drugs for fun use.
Ah,
You know,
I think we've
The
all
fun
been there
stuff.
at least once.
I try to stay out of business like this, and if you are trying to sell to me, I think I'll pass.
fine. What about you? You quiver? Do you want anything?
Nah, I mean, I kind of went cold on that stuff a while ago. Had a bad
Why
bad
did
experience.
I get stuck with the boring people? We're the fun people in prison.
Hey, Quipper's real fun. What are you talking about? I'm the most fun guy you're ever gonna meet. I'll tell you that right now.
I bet it'd be more fun.
And call me Quipper
I'm just
for
gonna
nothing.
roll back over and like knock on the wall like to make music.
A quippy little guy. That's what I do.
Make a performance check, by the way.
Oh, me? Or
No,
I thought you were just telling
Okay.
Quipper to make one because
She-
he's just so cool.
no,
They just make it.
no. She's knocking on the wall.
12.
12. You start knocking on the wall, and then after a little bit of time passes, you just hear like slamming on the other side of the door. Shut up!
I don't think they like that.
Well, they're uncultured.
Aether. You wake up in a different cell. Smells about similar. This one contains only 2 people, yourself and one other person. You stir, but it seems like the other person has been awake for a little bit longer. Would you like to describe yourself?
Yes. All right. I have like light brown hair, kind of ashy looking. Oh no.
What?
Did we lose you, Matt?
No, I did that on purpose. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Interesting. All right, kind of ashy looking hair. I've got like a very cute pastel dress on with one of those like top layers that's like translucent, iridescent kind of thing. Like picture in like any Barbie movie. That's kind of the dress I've got on, but like shorter. And then 4 like multicolored ribbons just kind of trailing off the back. And what looks like at this point an empty tool belt, and it has like circular like holes in it, kind of. Yeah, that's what
I
she-
see. Although I should note, right now you are in prison and you don't have your normal clothes.
Well, that's what I would look like.
Yeah. We'll get to that later. But you stir from your bed, your hair kind of a ratted mess as you were moved in your sleep. Anesthetic-induced sleep. You turn to your right and you can see there's what sounds like metal against metal kind of sound. And you turn over and you see the bed on the other side of the room is empty. And in the corner, there appears to be a smallish man, probably a halfling or just a small human. Very round, rotund, almost Danny DeVito shaped, but he's crouched in the corner with his back to the bars. You can see a short, balding gray hair, and focused on something that you can't see.
I'm going to get out of bed and just walk right up behind him with my head over him. Hello.
You haven't been here long, have you?
No, not really.
Then you should know. And you can see that he turns around and he appears to have a steak knife in his hand, and a piece of probably something resembling a whetstone in his other hand. Then you should know that when somebody is doing something, you don't butt in.
Well, you were crouched in the corner. How were I supposed to know that you were doing something?
Ah, so somebody is crouched in the corner. hiding something with their body, you think, that must be an invitation to invite myself into whatever he's doing.
Well, we're locked in here. I'm just a little curious.
I don't think you're gonna last long in here. As he like pokes his knife in your direction. I don't think you're gonna last long around here. Somebody's gonna see to that. Could be me. What's your name?
My name is Aether.
So that's what I'll see on the tombstone. My name's Trimagasi.
And, I guess I should start with, how did you find yourself in here?
A strange question to ask somebody when they are in prison for a crime. Well, I don't know. It actually kind of checks out. I'm in here for manslaughter.
Oh,
Nice.
interesting that we're in the same cell, but all right.
Oh, so you've done less? You're some angel?
I wouldn't say that, but, I just, I couldn't pay taxes in time.
That's a greater crime than mine. I just killed somebody. As far as the state is concerned, I'm better off.
I guess that's what we've come to at this point, isn't it?
Hmm.
I start, looking around. Are there, guards walking around or anything?
Occasionally. It seems like on a 15-minute basis, a guard walks by every once in a while. They don't tend to pen you any money.
Look out and just, see what's going on in the hallway. Can I see any other cells?
Sure. There's it's open bars here, smooth bars. There's no door on your cell, by the way. It's just smooth bars that go straight up. You've been here long enough that you know that when they do release you from your cell, the bars just lower into the floor. You can't see the cells to your right and left. However, across the way, you can see there's this appears to be cells that are in a very large complex. There's multiple floors and catwalks connecting areas. You can see across a gap, there is another set of cells across the way.
All right.
If you want to look for those, you can. And it should be noted that each of these, each of the guards that walk by have a baton on one side of their hip and a pistol on the other.
Oh dear. All right. I'm just kind of looking through the different cells, just seeing who's here.
Make a perception check. See if you see anybody interesting.
Oh no. That is an 11, I think. Yes. Nope. 11. Yeah, 11.
You don't really see much. You're just looking across the way. You see a person directly across the way, one of them walking back and forth, pacing inside of their cell. You see, for the most part, most people in here only have 3 or 2 people per cell. And that's pretty much all you see.
Interesting.
Right. I have a question.
Yes.
So, do you know in Shrek when Donkey is singing that song and he's like, I'm all alone, there's no one here beside me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Nyx is doing in her cell, incredibly loudly, terribly off key. Yeah, I felt like that was important to say.
Okay. Yeah, that checks out. By the way, Quipper, I need you to make a perception check for me.
I gotta get my dice. Oh, drop my book.
Lizzie, I sent you an email, by the way.
Okay. I also sent you a text message.
Communication at its finest.
I got an 11.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about me? Me not worry about it?
Yeah.
Alright, if you say so, I'm not gonna worry about it at all. I already forgot what you told me to do. I made a what? I don't know. Acrobatics? Sounds good to me.
Alright.
Did you change something?
Yeah, I did.
Oh boy. Okay. After I wrote all of those notes.
Well, yeah, just look at it, I'm sure.
Rude. Good thing I have white out.
All right.
Can I keep pestering that guy whose name I already can't pronounce and see?
Trimagasi.
Trimagasi.
Oh.
Text me the spelling of that.
Sure. It is Trimagasi.
Magsi?
Magasi.
Dope. Thanks.
Sweet.
All right. What you're pestering? What are you pestering him about? What are you saying?
I just want to see what he's working on.
Oh, he appeared to be sharpening his knife, and it seemed to be some kind of cooking knife.
Interesting. Did you steal that from a kitchen?
Did I steal this from a kitchen?
really-
Reclaimed this from a kitchen. You see, I don't think they feed people enough here, and sometimes, when they just toss you half a bowl of stew, I decide to take matters into my own hands. And when my cellmates get a little too nosy or talkative, I cut them up and then I eat them too. And how could I do that without my knife?
It's got a good point.
Well, you seem very interesting. I'm just going to sit on this side of the room now. And then I just
Yeah. You should do that. And he sits back in his bed and kind of tucks away so guards passing by don't see him with his knife as he begins to grind his knife. Yeah, that checks out.
What wild noises are going on right now?
Yeah, so,
Some poor woman is getting dragged into the endless despair.
and that's how it should be. That's how it is.
Nick's just started singing a different song. This one was like, oh! Yeah.
You can hear discordant noises of people getting more and more upset around the cells surrounding you two. If you guys would like to do anything in your jail cells, that's fine. But unless you, today is an off day. You don't have any work today. Nothing is really happening. This was a transfer day where all of you are moved to different cells, so they kind of just give you time to get settled. So nothing really happens today.
What a nice prison.
Yeah.
We get days off and like little vacations.
Well, it's more so because so much is going on inside of the prison, because even now, people are still getting transported. They don't transport everyone in the prison at the same time.
Well, there you go.
So the whole day is basically dedicated to that, and it happens every few months or so. In any case, would you guys like to do anything?
Ryan, I sent you a question.
Oh, okay. While I do things like this, you're free to talk amongst yourself, sir.
I'm just gonna, I'm kind of bored just sitting around here. You guys are cool and all, but I'm gonna go ahead and practice my music, and I'm just going to conjure a lute out of thin air, using a cantrip, and just start like playing it and like humming a little tune.
Nyx is like sitting on the edge of her bed, just like staring at you, like, oh my god.
Just like,
I
oh,
can't
prison
believe you
guards,
just did that.
where you at? Why you guys so big? If only you were a little
Nyx is
smaller,
gonna try to harmonize.
then maybe
She can't harmonize.
I could escape.
Make a performance check with. Probably shouldn't give it to you, but she did say it. So advantage, because you're being assisted.
Even though it's horrible.
Yeah.
I got a total of 20.
Total of 20. Eventually, you see as first of all, there's just like as heavy metal boots are stomping across the the metal walkway, but besides yourself. What passes by is, have you guys ever seen the game, or let me check so I don't say something I don't know what I'm talking about. Nope, this is the wrong game. In any case, a person in this massive metallic suit walks by. The suit painted red with metal armaments, showing that it is from the Embernox Guard. These are the police force which guard the streets and prisons. This is not the average person that you would find on the street. This is a special unit called a Meridian.
These guys are mean.
These are used, there's basically only one per prison in most basic prisons. And these are established only on important sites, and they are extremely lethal. They do not make arrests. They are used especially for peacekeeping, as they might call it. This one in particular is called, you can tell because of its red armor, a fire meridian. That's pretty much all you know about it. You can see in one hand it holds a large sawed-off shotgun. You can see on it the barrels have these orange highlights, which are really just glass that shows into the barrel, in which you can see there's molten stone and metal inside of the barrels, waiting to be fired. This officer stops by your cell, looks over at you,
Hi.
and turns back with its. Oh yeah, by the way, its whole body is covered in this armor. Its skin, its face, you don't see any part of it. But it looks over at you, and it looks back and keeps walking.
Yeah.
And then, but eventually, a little while later, a normal guard. This is a person just wearing a simple police uniform with some armor on, padding his otherwise mundane uniform with his club and pistol. Walks in. Hey, Quibber.
Hey, good buddy. How's
Are
the
you-
kids? How you doing? I'm just playing with.
Oh, they're doing good.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
No, not you, Google. I was talking to someone else. That was weird. The voices in my head, they just keep coming back.
Quibber, you're always such a weird fellow. You know what? Are you looking to do anything, or are you just
Oh, I don't know.
practicing
I'm
for
just-
dinner later?
Just hanging out. Why? What do you want me to do? You got something in mind? We going on a little adventure? Quipper likes adventures.
I like
Nothing yet.
adventures.
I still have a full day work ahead of you.
Ah.
Nix, you better watch it. I've seen you. And he goes, hey, don't tell the others. But and he tosses over some bread through the bars.
Woo! Yeah, that's my man. I love this guy. He's such a great guy. What a guy.
Can I have some?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I'm a pretty small dude. I don't need to eat that much. Just hanging out, strumming my lute.
Whoa. Hey, guard. Hey, you.
Yes.
Do you need anything?
Don't talk to that one.
Do you want anything?
She's
Hey,
not
hey,
great.
hey. Stay out of my business.
She asked
do you
me
want-
if I wanted to buy drugs.
I want both of you to make persuasion check.
Oh boy. 16.
18.
Oh,
Okay.
dang it.
He goes, you couldn't possibly have any drugs in here. First of all, we inspected you when we transported you.
I know, but like, I could find something for you.
You
I'm
have,
pretty smart.
I don't think you have any sense of self-preservation. I feel like I'm already in trouble. I'm just gonna leave. How about that?
Cookie.
See you later.
Yeah,
Clipper.
take care of yourself. Yeah, get out
Keep an
while
eye on her.
get out while the going's good. Don't
Are
dig
you
your
just
hole
like
too
the
deep.
fun police? Like, we're already in prison.
What?
Don't
I'm
get
having a
it.
blast. What are you talking about? I got my loot. I'm having a great time. I'm storming away. I should get like a ukulele in real life. so I could strum it.
I sent
Nobody
a
wanna
follow-up
have
question.
fun.
What?
Karina sent a follow-up question to our.
Oh, yes, Brenna.
Cool.
I didn't hear your question.
What
What
did
was
you
your
ask?
question?
I sent a follow-up question.
Oh, I see.
So Ryan, if I still have my regular clothes, could we assume that I am wearing armor? Or would they have just let me keep, like, my whatevers? And, like, taken my armor?
You have, like, your casual clothes. You don't have your armor. You don't have, like, your weapons and stuff.
Well, I just have... Okay, that's fair.
Like, everyone else is wearing, like, prison rags kind of thing.
Sure.
They're all wearing, like, the same
They're like, hey, yo,
orange
Quipper,
clothing.
we're gonna need the chest piece, but, like, you can keep the jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Because you can't have anything dangerous, but, you know.
A little, like, leather armor is not dangerous, but I see where you're saying.
Yeah.
They gotta be able to beat the crap out of me easily if they need to.
Exactly. But in any case, would you like to do anything?
I'm going to just kind of get up and shuffle back over to that crazed crouch figure. Could I see that knife for a second?
Why would you see my knife? What are you gonna stab me? Are you gonna stab me?
Stab you?
No, you have to tell me if you're gonna stab me.
I'm not going to stab you.
Why do you want to see my knife?
I just thought I'd take a look at it. I like seeing how things are made.
It was iron casted. That's all you need to know. It is the sharpest.
I grab it and I,
By the
with
blade.
my other hand, I pull a pin out of my hair that's a spring, and I shove it on it, and I cast Puzzling Touch.
You're gonna need to make a dexterity check to grab it.
I will try my best. Let's see here. I'm using a different dice. That
Oh,
one's
is this the
already
first
gonna be
spell?
Oh no! 3. No. 4.
All right, we're gonna roll initiative.
Yeah.
Do you need me to keep track of the
I think we'll be able to do this one.
Oh no. 4 again.
We're just doing great today.
I don't know if this is any of you guys, but we now have watching our stream someone named Another TT Viewer and Commander Root are 2 other new people that are watching. So
Neither of those are me.
well then, welcome to our stream.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome.
We're just playing D&D.
Yeah.
That's how you find stats for my monsters.
Oh boy.
I find dice that aren't cursed. I keep rolling below a 10.
I guess I should establish, or someone should establish, because we never set necessarily an end time. We're gonna be here probably till like midnight usually.
Sometimes it's less.
Time.
Usually, as we
Obviously-
get close to midnight, that's when we start asking, like, all right, that's a good place to stop. But
Well,
somewhere
we-
between 11 and 12, which usually
And we were gonna
Sometimes
break
10
at
to 12.
7.
Yes.
yeah, like 10 to 12.
7 is when we're breaking.
Also, obviously, all of these are recorded, so if you want to watch them later at your own pace, that's
also
obviously
true.
fine.
Game. Win-win.
So he got a 8, so he's
And
going
a
first.
He's going.
So Tremagasi is going to try to attack you.
All right.
Yeah, Trim. Cassie.
Nice one.
This is gonna be so bad.
He is going to try to stab you twice.
How original, Trimagasi.
Both seem to be hits. Because one was a 19, the other was 18.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
definitely hit
Trimagasi.
level 2 character.
It's so weird being back at level 2. Like, my health
Yeah.
is not supposed to be anything less than triple digits. This is not okay.
I barely got to triple digits at level 20, let's be honest.
Luckily for you, between the 2 attacks, it is only 6 damage.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
For level 2.
As you as you try to reach for it, he just instinctually goes and then tries to go into you and like does one hacking slash, very untrained, as if he's never wielded a weapon or a knife as a weapon before. He like hacks down and it hits like your collarbone, and you can feel kind of chip in, and then he pulls it back and stabs into your abdomen.
Oh gosh.
And as he stabs into it, his face gets close to you, and he goes, you don't touch my knife.
I'm sorry. I'll leave it alone. I wasn't going to stab you, I swear. And I want to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. Also, make a persuasion check.
Okay. Oh my god. 7.
Can't hear me because of noise suppression. It's a great day.
Trying to trick me again.
Let me cast this nice.
I think Arena's
yeah,
about to die.
About to die. Oh no, I got all my health back. It's okay.
Oh yay!
Hey, there you go. Now he's going to attack you again. So he pulls out the knife, and what do you do? How's your? You just cure wounds.
I don't have much on me now. I take out just like random bits of like metal from my hair, and I start like pressing them together, and like there's kind of a bluish magic like runes kind of popping up on them around like where I got hurt. If that makes any sense at all.
Sure, and with those you're able to kind of heal them back up in an instant. And he goes, I hate magic. And then he's just gonna try to stab you again. Geez, he rolled a 19.
I'm gonna die.
He rolled a 19 and a natural 20. I'm so sorry, Karena. I'm so sorry, Karena. Well, luckily for you, the natural 20 only was 1, so that's 3 damage total. And the other one is 4 damage total.
Okay, so that's all right. That's where I was before. It's about. Oh god, what am I gonna do? I'm just going to, obviously staying within range because we're in a jail cell. I don't imagine I can get out of his range. I'm just going to like back up to where the bars are and take the spring that I had earlier and put it like kind of not break it, but like unravel it and put it around my arm and try to cast Ray of Frost.
Oh, okay.
This is escalating quickly.
Okay, that's better. 18.
18 to hit. Very nice. That hits.
Karena's in a death match, and Matt and I are jamming in our cells.
But I tell you, Quiver's the king of party time.
That's 6 cold damage.
Very nice.
And I'm just like holding my arm like this around the cell with my arm kind of like holding one of the bars.
And there's just this blue flash as you're able to infuse magical energy into this spring and fire it off. And it fires off and kind of freezes part of his arm to like his chest, and he begins to like tear at it, and it just like doesn't move as much. But he's gonna try to lunge at you again. And that's a natural 1. Yes. There you go.
Yay!
And a 5. So you got lucky on that one. And he just starts swinging at you, but like the frost seemed to like kind of chill into his core. I ate my last cellmate, and I'll eat you too.
Oh no! I'm just gonna keep trying, like with my arm out. With my other one, I'm just gonna try and swipe at his knife.
Okay.
Try my best. What is that? A dex save or something?
A dex check.
4.
Karena.
This is fantastic.
I keep trying different dice and they're all cursed. Let me try my tiny ones.
Okay.
It's fine.
I'll say that's like your bonus action. What do you want to do with your action?
Oh, bonus action? Ugh.
Yeah.
Bonus action. I don't think I can do this on myself, so I'm not going to. I'm going to. Are there any like just like random, like what's in the room? Are there like any
All right.
different little things?
So, throughout the room, you have, let's see, you have two beds on either side, metal frames, mattresses. There's springs inside of the mattress.
Mhm.
There's a pillow on top. Across the side, there's a toilet with a handle. Besides that, that's pretty much it. They try to keep it as minimal as possible.
I don't know if this is gonna work at all because homebrew stuff. But can
Mhm.
I try to lunge for the pillow
Hmm.
and turn it into a shield?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is for.
Fantastic.
With what spell?
Tinker tactics.
All right, you cast the spell Tinker Tactics,
Yeah.
and you grab onto the pillow, and as you pull it around, part of the pillow like breaks off part of the fabric, and it turns into this handle, and then you feel like almost like a child having your first pillow fight, and the other side of the pillow fluffs up and almost turns hard as you go to block with it, and you now have +2 to AC.
Oh yeah. Sweet. Okay, right.
He is going to attack you twice. That is a 13 to hit.
That misses with my new shield.
You get ready to block it, and the knife just starts to slide through the cotton before just getting like there's too much fluff, and it's too dense now. The second one is is 18, not natural, or 18. I'm sorry, it was a 20.
Yeah,
I
that
was sorry.
definitely hits.
That does. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Level 2 ACs.
That is 4 damage.
Oh dear. Alright.
As this one, he stabs through the shield again. This time it kind of pierces through the shield, and it stabs into your forearm, which was blocking for it.
Okay.
There's just like blood staining the side of this pillow now.
Let's see here. I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself again.
Okay.
I'm already looking very bad. So I'm going to do that really quickly. Okay. I don't know if this is a bonus action or not, so I'm going to check really quick.
Is it?
No, that's an action. No, so I'm just gonna do that and just like keep my my arm with my shield up and just start like hitting the bars, like be like, there's an issue going on here, even though I'm in a jail, no one's gonna listen, but it's fine. We're fine.
Everything's fine.
All right, he's going to make 2 attacks against you. The first one is an 11,
Miss.
and the second one is a 6. So each time he's just like slashing wildly now. It looks like he's barely seeing where he's looking at where he's fighting you.
Alrighty. So I'm trying to remember. Okay. I am going to. You said that I did see people like around the hallway and stuff, like guards and.
On the other side, you don't see any guards immediately, but you do hear. You're not sure how far away. Running footsteps in your direction.
Okay. I am just going to like hold up my hand and cast, because this is not an artificer thing. Just try to blind him with light, just like bright light in his face.
Oh yes. What does he need to do? Or are you just being creative?
Creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. I target an object. Okay, so I'm gonna target his knife, so that if he holds it in front of his face, it'll be like super bright.
Are you casting light on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dexterity saving throw.
He did very well, unfortunately. That's an 18.
No.
Where is this guy coming from?
I can't.
He's just getting lucky. He's not that great.
Yeah, I can't get it on the knife in time,
Crazy
so I'm just
man.
going to I guess just stand my ground and try to put the pillow in front of my face.
Okay, one more time. All right, so 11,
Miss.
14.
Miss.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm just gonna try going for his knife again, because this is going nowhere.
Dexterity check.
Use a different die. Get out of here. -1. 10.
Luckily, you only needed to get his AC, so that was exactly what you needed to get.
Thank
Any
God.
less, and it would have been disappointing. Now you can do your thing.
Okay, so I'm going to take, because I already got the spring, so I'm going to take it off of my hand and wrap it back up, and then take another random object in my hair as a clip that's a tiny puzzle piece, and I'm going to put both of them and just kind of like slide my hand across the dagger, and the handle kind of turns into like a bunch of knobs and levers. Like
Okay.
a tiny puzzle.
The handles turn into a bunch of knobs and puzzles, and the blade itself disconnects into different parts along its length, and just kind of like with a string attached to them, it grows limp, and it ties itself into a knot that he would need to unfurl. Ah, you, my knife. You did this to my knife. How do I use a knife like this? And you see as his tears start to well up under his eyes as he begins to sit there, and he kind of like backs up for a second, and his butt just kind of finds its way onto the bed, in which he collapses, staring at this knife.
You can still use it. It's just a little more fun.
You monster! This is all I had. This is all I had.
I'm just gonna like try and show him like the different like knobs and stuff. I feel now, even though he tried to kill me.
At about this time, a few guards kind of like skid their way in front of the room, and they see Trimagasi's shoulder, and where his arm is showing through. There's almost like his flesh is almost turned black from the frost that had darkened his skin and started to clot up the blood. Frostbite, that's what it's called. And they see you just like covered in blood, staining dripping down from your arm. They go, hey, there's some kind of issue here?
I think we got it figured out.
And you see as Trimagasi like goes to put his knife away now, and he goes, hey, what's that? And then they grab his arm and like pull him against the bars, and his head slams into the side with a metal clang. And then they reach in, they grab the contraption that used to be a knife. They go, Trimagasi, you're going to come with us. And they one of them presses a button on their wrist, and all the bars shut down. One of the other guards stand guard, waiting for you to try to leave. And Trimagasi gets dragged out on his heels while screaming all kinds of horrible things at you.
Oh.
And the bars slide back upwards again. Do you need to see the infirmary?
I'm looking at like my like stab wounds. I think that would be useful.
All right, I'm gonna guide you there, and this guard takes you out and begins guiding you to a different room, in which you see there's another man sitting by a few hospital beds. This one appears to be some kind of gnome. He's got like a really big nose, larger ears than should be possible, and but all kind of like scars on his body, but they don't look violent. They aren't like knife scars, just like maybe burn scars or something like that. All of them small. He goes, I see another knife wound. I'm gonna patch you up. Don't you worry. We'll have you good by the end of the day.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that traumatizing experience. Uh, Trimagasi, you're gonna come with us, and they one of them presses a button on their wrist, and the rest of you, unless you would like to do something, the day will pass uneventfully while she is
Excuse
healed
me,
back up.
I am doing something.
Go ahead.
My days are always eventful, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm already
Glad to
doing
hear
it.
it.
I'm already doing it. I already told you what I was doing. I'm just playing my loot.
Oh, that's what you're doing. I was like, did you send me a text?
No,
Hey, what's up?
I'm just playing the loot. That's all I'm doing.
All right.
Nyx
Sounds
is
good.
going to dance around while he's playing.
Very
And
nice.
Never.
try to annoy her half-orc bunkmate just enough that he doesn't try to kill her, but like just enough that he's like, oh my god, Nyx. You know what I mean?
Nyx, please, please, please stop. I have lived here for a very, very long time. I've had so many cellmates. I've had a cellmate try to slit my throat and eat me in my sleep, and I preferred every single one of them to you.
I just
Wow.
fine. Like, I mean, you just need to let go. You just need to. I have something that could help you do that.
What?
You know, like some
What,
good stuff.
what could I possibly give you? You're trying to sell things. We don't have any money.
I would give this to you. I would give this to you for free.
They barely even take my stuff, and I still don't have any money. I'm just poor.
I just don't want to get involved in anything. I don't want to get caught again. I don't want more years here.
You're not gonna get caught.
You asked a guard.
He didn't believe me.
Yeah, thank God.
It's fine. You
Which
shouldn't
one?
be such a Debbie Downer.
Look, I think
Which-
I'm gonna pass for today.
Which
Why does nobody want drugs?
which god are we thinking?
Hmm?
Which god are you thinking?
Oh, that depends. Uh, now, my parents, they worship the wild gods. I just got pulled in with them.
Whoa.
So, Azarius, it doesn't matter to me.
Wild. I go back to my loot. It's a very
Sure.
deep conversations. I don't know what's going on. I'm just playing my loot. Don't mind me, everybody.
Please, is so boring.
Sorry.
That was not me complaining. That was Nyx complaining.
By the way, I made a mistake. I said Azarius. It should have been Lathander. Is the god he said. But in any case, the day passes, otherwise uneventfully. You guys go back to sleep. The next day, work begins to start. All of you are taken to workshops together. And at the beginning of the day, well, I suppose we don't have to worry too much about some of that stuff. At the beginning of the day, you are all guided by guards to the workshop. And they and each of them go to you. They go, all right. So today, you'll be assembling the framework for an iron golem. This is a pretty hefty sum, so I believe that if you do your job well, it will substantially decrease your stay here. So, do your best. And Nyx, this is the third and final warning. Next time, you're being sent to a higher security prison. Do you understand?
Yeah. I get it. Okay.
To be
Good.
fair, do I even have a debt? I thought y'all were just keeping me for a little bit. I mean, I guess you just like having me around, but like.
Your crime is still to be paid off. Each crime that is done is measured in a certain amount of funds, which you must make up to the state.
But like, did I really do anything this time that merits this much? Kind of. Like, come on, guys.
I mean, it was in for trespassing.
Whatever, dude. Wrong place, wrong time. Whatever. If you guys weren't there, I would have just left. Nothing happens. Whatever. I mean, trespassing. Whatever. This one deals
Make a
drugs.
persuasion check.
Alright.
Make a persuasion check.
I mean, I don't really
Sounds-
want to leave, but like this seems like a lot. I rolled a 1.
This particular guard has never quite gotten along with you.
He's not a fan. Not a quipper guy.
Not a fan of you. So he just kind of looks at you with a side eye. No special privileges here, Quipper.
Ah.
We're gonna have to work just like everyone else. Parasite. And he starts and he walks away as he takes you to a workshop area. There's
I'm gonna write
now
it
it
down.
seems weird. This place it feels like normally a prison would try to make sure you don't have weapons and stuff on you and like limit your accessibility to weapons. This is a full-on workshop. There's hammers. There's all kinds of metallic tools used for building things, forging things. Not everyone is allowed to do everything or work with every machinery, obviously. But that changes based on privileges and how good you've been and what your skills are. But yes, this is a full-on workshop. There's clanging of metal all around you. There's construction of all kinds of devices. You spend most of your time working on basic products, nothing fancy, nothing like a license plate kind of thing, you know. Sorry, I'm gonna set up some stuff. But in front of you, you see there to be a there we go. And in front of you, you see to be the frame of a large humanoid creature. There's no metal plating on it yet. And it's kind of almost a blueprint more than anything. You just need to start assembling pieces into place to get it ready for like actual artificers to do their job and build the rest of it.
Whoa.
And this is when you are all, the three of you are the people in charge of putting this together.
Hello? I guess we should, get acquainted while we're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
My name is Aether. What's yours?
I'm Nick.
Isn't that a dimension?
Aren't you annoying?
No. I am a joy to be around. Thank you very much.
What's your name?
My name is Quipper, on account of how annoying I am sometimes.
Quiver, like for arrows?
No, not quiver. Quipper. Quipper.
Quipper?
Like a guy
Clicker?
that quips.
Clicker.
A very quippy dude.
All right. Well.
Why are you in prison?
Why am I in prison?
Yeah.
I couldn't pay my taxes in time.
Whoa! We got us a real big time criminal here. Wow. I'm here for trespassing, and they got me working with a tax frauder. That's
It
crazy.
wasn't exactly fraud more than it was
Evasion?
I needed more time. No.
I mean, call it what you want. It sounds like tax evasion to me. See, I don't pay taxes. All of my paychecks come under the table.
What are taxes?
Well, you
Oh, no.
see, you're alive, and the government expects you to pay for it. And if you don't, then they make you live and suck. More or less.
I guess it's a way of putting it. Mine were more so building taxes. I used to run a shop, and so, you know.
What did you sell?
Well, my
I
friend and
consider
wanted
myself
to
an
go-
entrepreneur.
Really?
Don't ask.
Mhm.
Don't ask about it. Don't inquire. No. Asking the wrong questions here. You should just take what she has said so far, and just leave it there, and just tell us what you sold.
Yeah, what do you sell? You tell first, and then I'll share my story.
We don't need to hear it. That's,
All right.
Shut up,
well,
Whipper.
Typically things like small armor commissions or You know, sometimes small magic items, a lot of toys. Those are quite fun. My parents and I used to have a sort of potion shop as well, but we don't really do that anymore.
I love toys.
Toys are pretty cool.
They are.
I wouldn't want to work with potions either though. You start mixing things together and adding in
That's the fun
some
part.
magic juice. That's some dangerous games you're playing there.
Yes, that's why we stopped doing it, actually. But what did you say you sold?
Nope.
I'd be like leaning close to her face.
That's the wrong question.
Drugs.
That's the answer that you get.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's why you're here?
Yeah.
Make a
And then I'm just
perception
gonna
check.
I'm gonna walk away and start like picking up metal pieces and moving them next to me. Just picking up and
And
moving
I'm just
things.
like,
Make a perception check.
who?
You, Krenna.
Let's see if I
Sorry.
roll nicely.
Krenna.
I don't know what's happening.
All right.
It's that kind of day.
That kind of day.
By the way, Nyx and Quipper, both of you have the things I sent you on you
Cool.
right now and at all times.
I figured.
Well, obviously. I mean, I never let him go.
Yeah. I'm sorry, yours is a little less conspicuous, Krenna.
A little more conspicuous, actually.
Yeah, sorry. Less inconspicuous.
It's fine. Well, I guess I'm just gonna start picking up the tools that I figure that we need for this.
Sure. So, this is the constructing of a large metallic thing. How would all of you like to partake in doing this?
You said that the frame already exists?
Kind of. It's a rough thing. For the most part, you're putting together the structural pieces.
Okay. Then I want to start, like, reinforcing the frame to, like,
Okay.
actually start making a usable skeleton of it.
So, when you say reinforcing, do you mean like you're putting the metal there, or like, because like, what are you as an individual doing to help finish this?
Oh yeah, I was going to start, like, actually, like, building the frame with the metal, like what's already there, but
Okay.
building off.
In that case, we're gonna start things off with you making a strength check to try to put things in place and weld them together.
Oh, this could be interesting. 10.
10. You are not you're able to successfully drag stuff along the ground, but when you try to like heave all the metal metal poles, all the plates and things, they just like you can't put them where you need them to be. You're just not strong enough to make it happen.
Could anyone help me with this? Maybe?
I feel like I need a reminder. What race are you guys?
You don't know what I am.
What do you look like?
I have very sharp like features, and my ears are kind of like pointy-ish, and I have like a slightly pinkish tint to my skin. It's like pastel pink.
Are you tall?
No, I am little bitty.
Like,
I'm like small, not like
small,
this,
like small size.
but like smaller for a human.
Still medium.
Oh.
I guess if we're going the vague route, then I kind of look human. I'm like, I don't know, normal height.
Are neither of you races from the player's handbook?
I was about to say, and as you see me walking around, you see two really tiny, sad-looking wings.
Oh.
Oh.
Their wings sticking out, almost like chicken wings kind of thing. They are not heavily feathered. They are pretty pathetic.
And I have ribbons tied around them.
Man, I thought I was weird.
Also, as she's walking past metal stuff, you can see her hair like almost shift direction as if there's wind nearby, as her hair seems to be metallic and magnetic.
Metallic hair?
Well, it's like it's light brown, but it's like ashy, so it's like silver tints.
That's so cool.
So who's helping me?
I am I want to be the person. Like, how tall is an iron golem? I feel dumb. Are they like super tall?
It's about 9 feet tall.
Okay, I am able to like sort of I can like jump like climb up to the top and like put stuff on top.
Make it an athletics check.
Yeah, you guys look like you got that. Real quick though, I'm just gonna kick back. I'm gonna summon my loot, and I'm gonna give Lizzie bardic inspiration.
Okay.
I feel
Can't hear
D5, right?
anything Lizzie is saying.
Did you just say a D5?
yeah, that's definitely what I said.
That's the only thing we heard.
Hold on. Where is? There it is. Okay, that's so much better. That's a 17.
17. All right. With that is your first success. The way we're doing this, by the way, if you get 3 failures, then the golem is broken. If you get 3 successes, then you've successfully done your part on this part of the golem.
Do they have to be consecutive?
Nope. But now you have 1 failure and 1 success. As while you were moving around all the metal plates and the metal rebar, some of it got damaged in the process of you dropping it a bunch of times. But this time you are putting a bunch of stuff like up on, climbed up some of the scaffolding around it. You start putting the metal places into where you assume they belong. Now, they don't have perfect instructions for this. Like, there's vague outlines that are in the scaffolding itself. Like, there's not, like, step-by-step instructions. It seems silly, but it's just not there. So you guys are kind of, at this point, making guesses.
Could I try, for my part,
Mhm.
try to make a rough set of instructions to try and give to Nyx as she's making it? So, like, I'm, like, drawing out, like, where things need to go so she can be, like, the running person.
Sure thing. This would be an intelligence check, or... Yeah, intelligence.
Oh my... 7!
Oh my god.
Why?
Man, she's the one you should have given inspiration to.
Lizzie, did
really
you use
can't-
your bardic inspiration on that roll?
Yeah, I
Yes.
did. Because I rolled low, so I needed it.
Perfect.
Oh boy, we're gonna break this thing.
Aether doesn't like being in prison. She's very stressed.
Nyx doesn't like being in prison because it's boring. Nobody wants to have any fun.
So
I like
you're
prison
drawing
'cause then I have
instructions.
food and a roof over my head.
You're drawing instructions out, and you understand how an iron golem works, kind of. You have a general idea. But something isn't quite connecting here with how you're explaining it to how Nyx reads. So, like, you're kind of doing fine, but Nyx also has no idea what you're saying because you never bothered to, like, change the language to the layman.
IKEA instructions plus drugs.
Exactly.
Oh,
All right.
no.
Don't do drugs.
What is
build
the next thing you
furniture,
guys would like to
kids.
do?
Fun fact, Nyx isn't actually on any of them right now. This is just who she is. Can I... Is this thing big enough for me to, like, crawl inside of it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's also mostly hollow right now.
Since
Okay, can I, for my part, kind of, like, go inside of the torso and, like, as if, like, I'm an iron golem and, like, think about where parts would need to go and just stand there and be like, "Arr."
that's it.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh boy!
I was also gonna say, since she used the one I gave her, I want to give her another bardic inspiration.
Very
Okay.
nice. How are you gonna do it?
Oh, I'm just kicking back playing my lute, and it's just a very lovely noise. It's very inspiring.
How does it
Um,
reference to her in particular?
Consistently.
Yeah, has to be specifically.
I got there's a little ditty that I heard one time where some guy took some hard drugs and then tried to write a song that like represented what it felt like to be on the drugs that he was on. I'll just play that song.
literally any song from the 70s, and
Yes.
here we go.
Exactly.
uh,
I just start playing
And-
the Beatles.
you start playing the Beatles,
I guess that's not what.
and in it, not only is your songs just songs, but they're also kind of magically infused. I mean, like with the words that you speak, you infuse magic into them in a subtle way, and that's what you're doing here. All right. Nyx?
I rolled a 17, but I want to say that while Nyx is trying to impersonate this golem thing, her skin changes to like an iron gray color. Her features she becomes a little bit more boxy. She's still the same height and like small stature, but you know, like Roblox characters and their boxiness. That's what she kind of turns into, and she's just like Iron Golem.
You see as her body begins to swell and the pores on her skin begin to like stretch into as they stretch, they turn into this grayish color. Have any of you seen a cuttlefish change color?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Woo!
And that's what she does. And somehow, she is able to discern where she thinks things should go. And you have a pretty solid idea of how things should work now.
Okay.
You are now at 2 successes and 2 failures.
Oh god, I don't want to do anything.
I
now.
didn't use my bardic inspiration, so I could try again on something else. I just have to come up with something.
What would you like to do? Keep in mind, anytime you repeat the same check, the DC increases.
Right. I feel like I'm cursed to do the last check.
Matt, is there anything you would like to do?
I mean, if anybody could use a bardic inspiration.
I
like-
still have the one you gave me, so I can help like try to lift things.
That's
My
what I
strength
got.
isn't great, but I have the inspiration and I can help lift things. So maybe that, if I have like Aether's help, like lifting the heavier metal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but that's what we did the first time, right? Just like putting the metal in place. So let me think.
Really higher DC, but
Let me think of something else.
I'm just not a very strong guy. What can I
Would
say?
that be something that I could get at advantage if she's helping me though?
yes, it is.
Manual
Okay,
labor
so I
is
have
my thing.
that I would have advantage and bardic inspiration to add.
When it comes to like the inner workings of iron golems, do they need like specific like I don't know? Are we just baking the outside of it? Like are
You're
there-
just making the frame, is what
Just
you're
making-
doing.
Okay. never
There's
mind.
like the power source, the wiring, that kind of thing. That's all done by actual professionals.
Okay,
You're just doing the bare minimum.
cool. Then I guess I can try
You can lift. I can lift. I am beefy.
maybe let's take this this metal and try this again, maybe.
Are there any other people around?
For sure, there's people working all around you. As you're like using tools to put rivets in and do all this kind of stuff, there's like people all around you to like trying to take those tools as you're using them, that kind of thing.
Cool. I'm gonna wait
18.
on that.
18 with bardic inspiration.
Yes.
Okay. Then you are able to successfully lift everything to where you need it with Aether's help, and start hammering in rivets and using the power tools to drill stuff in.
Oh yeah.
Well done. And as this is completed, there's some dents, there's some mistakes.
We call that labor.
It
Very
adds-
nice.
It adds character.
That's the old Nyx touch.
Would
Don't
you like
poke
to?
it too
I
hard.
don't want
It'll
Nyx
fall over.
to ever touch anything related to me. Please don't touch my stuff or my instruments. Or
Or just
me.
like come up and like pretend like I'm gonna poke him like a kindergartner does
Feel
when
like-
they're like trying to annoy somebody.
I feel like your pores just secrete toxic compounds.
So
You
would
probably
you
have
say
like
something?
you probably have like a blood drug content of like 30%.
I don't take anything. I sell it. I don't take it. I don't need it. I sell it to the people who need it.
Quipper,
That is me.
where were you keeping that instrument?
Oh, this one right here. I just take it and I just like yeet it across the room at the wall.
it hits the wall and it slams and it breaks into pieces, and it falls into this vat of tar that's like boiling, and you see some other guy turns to you and goes,
Sorry, man. Trying to prove a
Nyx
point.
is holding up like she's trying to hold up like her fingers to be like 10 out of 10.
That
But she
thing's
can't
useless.
really like count correctly. So it looks weird.
Do that.
Huh?
Did you not like that instrument?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was getting a little boring playing the same old thing. I got something else in mind that'll really cheer everybody up. And then I just, out of thin air, conjure bagpipes. And I just start blowing into them.
"Are you proficient in bagpipes?"
Yeah.
Okay. You begin blowing into these bagpipes. Make a performance check.
18.
All right, well done. It almost seems like the workshop around you starts to work in a rhythm with your music, as this bagpipe with its obnoxious noise is loud enough to overcome some of the sounds of hammering and grinding. So eventually, like some people are appreciating it, other people are just unconsciously working to your rhythm as opposed to their own. And eventually, what is it called? The quartermaster who had talked to you earlier. So I'm to take this to mean that you were done?
I just abruptly
You
end.
bet your britches.
By the way, it's been
Yeah.
like a solid 8 hours to get this done. This was by no means a quick task. You guys are pretty exhausted, muscles sore. All right. Well, I do say this is adequate.
That's fair.
Although, I got to keep you for these few hours, but the warden has actually been calling for you, so we're gonna get an escort for you all to visit the warden soon.
See, I told you guys. It's because
I didn't ask,
they...
and neither should you.
Whatever. We all know it's because they're letting me go. Because I'm here.
Only you? Then why would they call all of us?
Well, what? They're not gonna let the girl with the tax fraud out just that easy? Come on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You are a big time.
I mean, selling drugs—that's one thing, but like tax evasion, you're gonna be in here for a long time. Don't worry about that. That's for sure.
Wasn't tax evasion, but alright.
Aether, I've also been asked to ask you about anything about yesterday's incident. What crimes did Trimagasi commit, and what should he be punished for? You are the only witness.
That's wild.
Oh, I think it's really okay. It was more of a misunderstanding that happened to have some sharp edges.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh no. 8.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
I hate.
What is up with your rolls today?
Oh.
Well, his trial is later today. You may hear about it, you may not. And then he leaves.
What do you think the warden wants to talk to us about?
What'd you do?
I didn't do anything.
No, not you. The tax fraud girl.
Oh yeah. Yeah, tax fraud girl. What did you do?
Some kind of
Who's
incident.
Trimawatsi? Who's Tomagachi?
He was my cellmate, and
Was.
it just we got into a bit of a misunderstanding that turned a little violent, and it didn't end well. He's okay, but
Well,
I worry
you're,
that
So you committed tax fraud and started a fight in prison?
I didn't commit tax fraud, but I
Wait.
guess I did.
What did-
I'm surprised that you came out the other end of a confrontation with him. I've had a couple of good buddies that were his cellmates.
Make a history check.
Who, me?
Matt, yeah.
$18.
You recall that he is semi-violent, but for the most part it's talk. However, he did eat a person once.
Yeah.
This was after a week of solitary confinement in which he was starved, and went a little bit mad. But before that, he's in prison because he had watched a telemarketing commercial, and they advertised a knife sharpener that would sharpen knives better than anything, and it was his favorite telemarketer. So he bought the knife sharpener, and then the next day, they came out with the same telemarketer came out with a knife that never needs to be sharpened, and he became so filled with rage that he threw his television outside the window, and it crushed a person after it fell 2 stories.
Yeah, that guy's a little kooky. He's not usually violent, but when he has been, doesn't end well for the other guys. So, kudos to you for getting out of that one.
Well, I guess it would have been worse if I didn't know how to heal.
You must have a really mean left hook. I bet you have.
I really don't, but it doesn't matter.
I bet she lied, just like she lied about the tax fraud. I'm on to you. I'm assuming we're on our way to the warden.
Yes.
Wow, this conversation. Okay, good. I was like, we're not just standing in front of the Iron Golem, and I'm like,
Right. So, you all are escorted to the warden's office. You go through something that goes through the administration district. This is an area that most of you haven't been. Quipper has for sure, because he's been everywhere in this prison at some point or another. But this place is almost a calm. It almost feels like a different building instead of the total steel and iron. Now you're starting to be surrounded by drywall and wooden floors. It's a very nice change of pace. And let me... There we go.
Oh, I got worried for a second there. My heart like skipped a beat. I was like, "Uh-oh, something got messed up." The sound stopped.
It's a different noise now, although it might be a little bit quiet.
I didn't realize how loud that was until it stopped.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty constant. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be.
Sure.
And then that spooked me. I knew it was there, and it still spooked me. In any case, you're eventually sitting outside of the office. There's a small entryway with a person sitting at a desk. It's sort of androgynous because of its form, but the person sitting on the other side of the desk is a mechanical construct known as a warforged. Pretty typical amongst Embernox. Some of the guards you had seen, many of the guards were warforged. They're probably one of the most. They probably represent 50% of the Embernox guard. And these are mechanical construct, made almost entirely out of metal. Sometimes with wooden inlays, sometimes not. They can have very different forms and shapes. This one is sitting writing papers inside, writing on a ledger, and goes, yes. Let me check my names. Drevan has been waiting for you, the warden.
How do you spell that?
Drevan. And you can see on the door there is a label that says Warden Drevan Minehide.
Cool.
In any case, she goes, now, I have some things to attend to, so I have to go. Can I trust you guys to just sit still for a little bit?
Of course. Sitting still is what I do best.
You know, I understand
Okay,
trusting
I'll be right back.
me to sit still, because, like, I've played at some guards' kids' birthday parties before, but, like, y'all got a drug dealer and a tax evader.
Why do you keep calling me out?
Neither of you are
I'm
violent, and if you
undercover.
do anything bad, then the warden himself will crush your skulls. And we have guards nearby.
Okay.
I promise I'll be good.
I was gonna say, y'all are real trusting of a couple of hardened criminals here.
Well, I'm just leaving for a second too. And they walk away, and they walk away outside the door, close it behind them. You can hear there's guards on the other side of the door. You can also hear. What's everyone's passive perception, by the way?
15.
10.
9.
All right. Aether. 15?
I don't know why, but that's what D&D Beyond said.
Honestly,
Oh, are you
sometimes-
proficient in perception?
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yes.
For one, you notice a bag on Nyx's hip. Something you didn't notice before. It's kind of got like on the bottom of it is dark, like it's wet. There's some mold growing on the side of it. It's just like somehow you didn't notice it that whole time, and she's the only person that seems to have one, or any bag for that matter.
You said you didn't have drugs?
Nope.
What's in the bag?
What bag?
The bag at your hip?
There is no bag at my hip.
I'm gonna just try to like.
There is no bag at my hip. There's no bag.
Is this a game that I've never heard of?
There's no bag at my hip.
Oh, by the way, those bagpipes that I conjured are gone.
Yes, yeah.
When we went to leave the workshop, they just kind of... I just tossed them to the side.
Yeah.
If you want us to not die, there is no bag at my hip.
Okay.
Cool.
I
Glad
feel
we're
like if I want myself to not die, there should be a bag on your hip.
No. No. If you want us all to survive, there is no bag.
I feel like I do pretty well surviving without
Clipper?
suspicious bags nearby.
Clipper.
Hey, Matt, make a perception check.
Clipper, I'm going to need you to be quiet.
I'm not very
Okay.
perceptive. I got a 4.
There's no bag at her hip.
No bag. What? I'm really confused right now. You say there's a bag. She says there's
Maybe our
not a
tax
bag.
fraud, non-tax fraud friend thinks there's a bag. I think something. Are you feeling okay? Do you have a fever?
Actually, that's a good point. You've committed tax fraud. I don't know if I
Yeah.
should trust your weird midday delusions. Are you sure you don't do drugs?
Yeah. I think I recognize the drug she's using too.
That's probably where your tax money went.
I think it's shell shock.
I'm
That's
not
nasty
using
stuff.
any drugs, and it wasn't technically. I don't think it was technically tax fraud or evasion. I wasn't trying to avoid it. I just couldn't pay it in time.
If you don't pay your taxes, that's tax evasion.
I told them, but then my shop ended up getting robbed even more that next week, and so upon, trying to replenish the stock, I had even less money to pay them with.
That sounds brutal. What do you think the warden wants us for?
That does sound pretty
Did we do
unfortunate.
something wrong?
You hear on the other side of the warden's door there appears to be some sort of argument going on. Or like muffled voices. Voices being muffled through the door that are getting a little bit louder.
I hope that's not about us.
I don't know. I've heard a few people yell about me like that before.
What do you think, Quipper? You seem to
I
know
think-
your way around here.
I think much like during every other major confrontation in this prison, I'm gonna do the same thing I always do and just sit off to the side very quietly and wait for someone who likes me to come by and ask them to
Does the
make sure I
does
don't
the
die.
warden not like you?
I haven't really had many conversations with the guy. I mean, like, I talk to the little men a lot. The dude that walks by my cell, I played his kid's birthday party. But, like, the warden, he's not as interested in talking to me. Although I have played at his dinner a couple times. But that's just because I play at all their dinners sometimes.
When did they start warming up to you?
Pretty quick. I'm a pretty cool guy. I come in, they take all my stuff. Next thing you know, I have a loot and I'm playing it, and they're like, "Whoa, confiscate that!" And so they do. And then next thing you know, I have a loot and I'm playing it. So after a while, they're like, well, I mean, we might as well just let him keep it. We can't take it from him. And then after a while, they're like, this guy's pretty good. Let's bring him around the dinner service or something.
So, how long ago was your sentence over?
Oh, I've been here. It's not one sentence there, but it's a couple. I don't usually get in here for a long time, but I'm kind of in and out. They get me for little things, you know, like, oh, he tried to take like that apple or something, or oh, he like slept in an alley he wasn't supposed to, or like, he was trespassing nearby the headquarters of a major crime boss. But that's totally, you know, wrong place, wrong time, like I said.
Interesting.
Is this my first time in prison?
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
assuming.
I've
Yeah.
been here a lot.
I figured as much.
I've been in and out of this place. I've probably spent a night in every cell in this building at some point. But what can I
That's true,
say?
especially with the rotating cells.
Food's not that bad. Once you get used to it. Beats street rats
Boring.
over a campfire. I got arrested for that one time too, actually. Apparently it's illegal to cook street rats over a campfire in an alleyway.
Wow, I've done a lot of illegal stuff. I guess I'm just better at not getting caught.
I'm a pretty flamboyant guy. Pretty easy to spot.
Sometimes when I want to be super sneaky, I just like disappear, Not like actually. I just like whoosh whoosh. You know what I mean?
I don't.
Yeah,
So,
I don't follow that one.
Like sometimes when I want to hide and I'm like in a dark place, I just like go dark.
Sometimes if I want to hide, I just like
I look like everything. Like I can be similar to things around me.
How do you do that?
I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. I think about it and I'm like with the Iron Golem, and I was like, ooh, Iron Golem, I was really thinking about it. And it just happens. So like,
So, could you look like that wall?
not really. It's more like I can look like people. I can like change what color I am.
I'm surprised if you can look like anyone you want, then you haven't escaped by now.
I thought about it, but I already got in trouble a few times. So I didn't want to go to a worse prison. So I just didn't push my luck.
I suppose that makes sense.
But I mean, I wanted to get out of stuff before.
Hey,
It's really fun.
Corinna, I just want to ask about something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Have you selected infusions to do?
I have.
Okay, you don't need to tell me what they are. I was looking at your character sheet and I couldn't see which ones you selected. Oh, never mind. I see it. I think, or is that just all of them?
There's only like 4.
Yeah, okay. In any case, sorry, I interrupted. But the door slams open and you can see a Warforged in his suit leave, and it has like a fancy modern suit. Steps out and he looks at both of you and his metallic face twists into kind of a snarl as he walks by, and he passes and the secretary walks in soon afterwards. And they go, oh, it's probably about time for you all to go see the warden now.
All right. I guess I walk in then.
Ah, how good of you to have made it. How have you been enjoying your stay?
Howdy-ho, Capitan! Your vessel is ship-shape as always. I gotta tell you, you really outdid it the other night with that soup you sent around. It was good stuff.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're enjoying yourselves. More importantly, have you been learning tools of a trade and a way to make by in this society without being a parasite?
Yep.
I suppose.
The intention here is to rehabilitate you, make you better for this society, despite what some of my superiors think, I would like for you to never return to this prison again, or any prison for that matter.
See, now
The
you see why he
problem, of
doesn't
course,
like me that
comes
much.
in. One of you is lazy, barely does any work, and my guards let him get away with it. And every time I send him back, he comes right here. The other of you, not only have you tried to sell drugs to my guards on 4 separate documented occasions, but despite your alchemical and herbalist skills, every time we try to put you in a job that compensates for your ability, you try to grow drugs. Aether, you've done a little bit better. Despite some mishaps with having items you shouldn't have taken from workshops and such, you've been doing okay. But I am of the belief that all 3 of you are capable of more. There's a special program that we're trying to do. Some of our forces aren't enough in all circumstances. I, if you are willing, would like to send you on a mission involving making up for a lack of guard forces in certain areas. You will be working as temporary detectives. If you do this successfully, come to us with evidence, and come to us with a living what is the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm blanking out. Suspect. Yes, thank you. With a living suspect.
Gotcha.
Then this should end all of your sentences. If you choose not to do this at the current rate at which you are paying back your funds, Nyx, you should be out of here in about 4 months. Quipper, 2 months. Aether, 6 months.
6 months for tax fraud. That's
She owed a lot of money.
No, I mean that's pretty good actually. I mean 6 months. That's not too bad.
Who are we looking for?
I should keep in mind, before I tell you any details, if you take this and then you try to leave, try not to get caught, don't come back, don't present results, in that case, you'll be all convicted of much higher crimes, and you can expect to stay here decades. Is that to be understood?
Okay.
Food is
Yes.
pretty good.
Is there a time limit on when we're supposed to find a suspect?
I believe at the moment we would prefer if you had something within the month. Any
Month?
longer than that, and we're gonna have to start having problems.
Are there already leads?
No, we don't have the staff necessary to investigate this. That's why we're sending you.
Will we be living here during all of that, or?
No, you will need to find your own. You will need to stay on your own. We are presenting you with no extra funds. You have only the stuff that you came in here with, assuming we didn't sell the stuff that you had, or otherwise confiscate it.
I mean, what I have like a sock and.
So we have a month with absolutely no resources besides our own wit and items.
That is exactly correct. Assuming, of course, your items weren't magical or otherwise interesting in which they were sold.
Sounds like nothing new to me.
I'll do it.
Aether?
Sure. Beats staying here, I guess.
Nyx? Quipper, please leave for a second. Close the door
Okay.
behind you.
Excuse me.
Hey,
Maybe I.
Quipper,
You,
did
hang on.
you accept the deal?
I was gonna say you never asked me. What the heck? You asked them. You
I-
asked
he-
You have to take a deal.
He is asking all of you.
God
Quiver, do you accept the deal?
I was a little curious
Oh.
about. Oh,
By the way, I'm so sorry. Trevon is a dwarf. He has this. I completely forgot to mention it. He has this long beard down to his knees. He's muscular. He's incredibly muscular. Stocky man, but not overweight. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, are we allowed to know like anything about what's going on here? Like,
We will give you a briefing, your victim, and the crime. But that is once we all have agreed and I come to certain terms.
that seems real like messed up a little
seems
bit. I mean, am I
okay to
agreeing to
me.
chase a petty thief or a serial killer? Because that really changes the answer to the question. Am I gonna do it?
I'm afraid I can't discuss these things with you until you've already agreed.
Come on, man. It'll be like a fun adventure.
I'll do it. But you gotta let me play your next kid's birthday party. I'm just kidding. I don't even know if you have kids. I'm gonna go out now.
I don't have children.
Whatever. You're so boring.
I bet they
I
would.
certainly wouldn't tell a prisoner.
But I.
And now, please close the door behind you.
Whatever. I leave.
Aether, these people are a mess. But I believe that all of you are capable of more. You are some of the most gifted, yet least violent, amongst most of my prisoners. This is a special program. You are the first of this program. If this fails, then nobody else will be gifted it again.
Understood.
I think that you are here for a misunderstanding and something that won't happen again. That is why I'm trusting you to keep these people in shape.
Of course. I will do my best.
Besides the other reasons you would want to do this, assuming things go well and you keep these other two in control, I'm willing to gift you with something of good faith. And he pulls out this orb with tons of levers and buttons and shifting puzzles, like a massive Rubik's Cube with 1 billion pieces. And he sets that on his desk with a slam. I am to understand that this is yours and important to you?
Yes, very.
This is normally the kind of thing that we would sell immediately. I kept it because I was rather interested in its craftsmanship. But I will have it, give it to you, if you promise to do these things for me.
I'll do it. Absolutely.
And he hands it to you. Now, the rest of the things which we didn't confiscate will be given back to you.
All right.
And you will be given a briefing on what you'll be doing.
Where should we go for all of this?
Don't worry, that'll be in the briefing.
All right.
There's a guard outside. Embernox, guide us. Do you have any other questions before we leave?
I can't imagine I have any that won't be answered soon.
Good. Please shut the door on your way out. You close the door. A shorter Warforged walks up. Kind of stubbier body, almost as if it was designed to be stout. And it walks up and it has the typical Embernox guard outfit, but it has like some additional badges, and there's an air of and amongst the design there's more professional looks. There's a tie involved. He goes, I'm a sheriff's suit. I will be briefing you on your mission.
Nick, it is so nice to meet you.
I already know who you are.
I bet.
Good.
So
I'm just being cordial.
So I am one of the sheriffs of the Scaled District region. The Scaled District region. And I am the person you will be reporting to, for the murder was in my jurisdiction.
Interesting.
You will be investigating the murder of a man named Goreng.
How do you spell that?
Goreng.
Cool.
Little is known about him at the moment because of a lack of investigation. We do know he had a partner named Finn, Fyn. No last name given. That is all we know at the moment. He was found in his home with his throat slit. And that's all we've got at the moment. He was unimportant, not otherwise deserving of our investigations, so you are the only people that will be investigating this.
Where was his home?
We will take you there, within the Scaled District, a poor region of it, as, you know, obviously most are.
Well,
Okay.
where do we go to collect our things that weren't sold?
Ah, yes, those are with me. And he pulls out 3 duffel bags, and he pulls them out from the side, and he hands them to each of you with your names embroidered on them. So he hands stuff to Nyx. It is kind of just her bag is almost empty, and her bag is almost empty, but there's just like mostly like cloth and stuff in it. So they hands it over to you.
Can I keep
Quipper,
this
your
bag?
bag is pretty yes, they're
Yes.
disposable. They will also compost themselves.
Oh.
He hands one to Quipper. It's like a normally sized and stuffed duffel bag. Then hands one, and then he picks one up, and it's really heavy, and he hands it to Aether, and there's just clanging of metal and stuff inside of it.
Thank you.
And I need to send you an email.
It's a lot of stuff.
You have a lot of stuff in there.
I do. I
Couldn't-
wasn't exactly traveling lightly when I was, arrested in my own home, but, it's mostly pieces of, well, it's just mostly things you can build with.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I have this piece of cloth right here, and it has a flower that I drew on it. It's not a very good flower, but I drew it. And then I have this piece of cloth that has a dirt stain on it, and then I have this piece of cloth which has something else on it. She's just gonna go through all the clothes that are in there that have stains on them.
Maybe
Corinna,
it stains flowers. Oh, okay.
by the way,
Same.
yeah, I will determine the DC every day,
Cool.
so you don't have to roll that. While you're holding it for the first time in a long time, you feel like you can finally relax as you have something to do with your hands.
Yeah, I'm just. You see Aether just like messing with it, like one of those little like fidget cubes, but it's like.
Ooh, can I touch it?
I would prefer.
She's already like reaching to touch it.
Not yet.
Okay.
Just gonna try solving it because I'm just like a mess.
Go ahead, make your intelligence check.
Oh god. 20.
20. You successfully solve it. You see as she's been thinking about it forever, she like starts twisting her hand like it's a Rubik's Cube. She pushes in buttons and unfolds it, and the pieces come out, and it just unravels into this infinitely complex machine. Roll your percentile dice.
Oh no. Okay. 99.
Is that really bad?
We
Right.
all instantly die.
That would
Uh,
stink. Campaign 4.
Today, man.
This is not a good one.
Oh no.
All right. I'm going to need you to roll another percentile dice.
Okay. 61. I'm very scared now.
Spooky, spooky stuff.
Spooky.
I'm gonna water my aloe plant while I'm sitting here.
What did you say?
What number did I say?
Yeah.
61.
61.
Mm-hmm.
For the next minute, you shout whenever you speak. And unfortunately, it seemed like you were a little bit too eager when you were taking it apart. As you're doing it, you twist something, and there's a snap as a piece just breaks off. And then as soon as it does that, there's this magic surge that pulses out around you, and you see like a bunch of papers on people's desks and stuff goes flying in different directions. And at the moment, you can't tell what it does, and it is now broken until further repairs.
Whoa.
I'm just gonna like put it back in the bag.
I want one of those.
I want one of those to be a little further away from me.
I'm just gonna start walking and try
Okay.
to not. if
All
anyone
right.
like was coming by the papers, I'm just like, sorry.
Couldn't even hear that, Lizzie.
Yeah. I'm
In any
excited
case.
to get my mic.
Yeah. In any case, that occurs, and he guides you onto a bullet train. So there's something called the Ember Nox Spire. The city of Cardinfall has 2 to 3 levels, depending on who you ask. The first layer is on the surface, or kind of above the surface. It's where usually you only find yourself if you're very rich, or of well-inclined politically. None of you have ever been to the top layer. There's a few different districts on the top layer, but you don't really know about them. The bottom layer, however, is under that, as if skyscrapers of this layer are holding up the layer above it. And the Embernox Spire is this massive fortress kind of thing that contains multiple prisons and HQ for all of Embernox Guard operations. In this spire penetrates both the bottom and top layer, so that it can infiltrate both sides, both layers. And from this spire, there's tons and tons of tunnels shooting out in different directions at different heights, each of them so that they can have quick deployment in all different parts of Cardinfall. This city is straight up cyberpunk. The bottom layer has like neon signs everywhere. It's always dark, but always light, always bright with multicolored signs, especially depending on where you are. That's where the general area of this city looks like. It's like if you ever did the Sims cities with the futuristic one, that kind of thing. In any case, you enter a bullet train that is a part of this massive underground web. And as soon as you get in, it starts to it fires you off at incredible speeds, and you can see as you pass over the one of these districts surrounding the Ember Spire, and eventually you start to make it into another part of another district. This district is, as you're looking at it from an overhead view, it's almost shaped like a spiral. There's and you can see the ground beneath this district rises and lowers. And as you're watching, you look below, you can see below the streets, or the streets themselves, there's massive scales. You know this to be the Scaled District. It is built on the sleeping body of a Tarrasque, one of the largest creatures known to man. anyone who, yeah, everyone except for Nyx here can make a history check.
I didn't know I should have picked proficiency in history.
I never used it last campaign, so I'm trying.
9.
10.
10?
Yeah.
You would know that there's that most of the areas, you've all eaten Tarrasque meat.
That's epic.
It is part of daily life around here. It is one of the cheapest foods that you can come across, and that is one of the major exports of this area.
Do they just like
Quite
harvest
honestly,
it from the sleeping body?
You would assume. You haven't really checked or talked to anybody. You probably haven't spent much time in this district, if any.
Seems like a really dangerous idea. Like, oh, this
Very.
giant monster is sleeping. Let's build a city on it. You know, we could take a little off. He's not gonna notice.
Yeah. And keep in mind, by the way, technically speaking, the bottom layer of Cardinfall is at sea level. The top layer is above that by a significant layer. So like the top layer is kind of suspended in air above. Yet almost no sunlight gets to the second layer. It is all artificial lighting from buildings. It is essentially an endless night, unless you're on the very edges where you might have exposure to the wildlands.
Nice.
But eventually, as you're riding on this bullet train, you enter a spire, or it enters a spire, and it suddenly like shifts to a different shape and turns into more of an elevator as you go shooting down. Now, it was only like a couple hours, or no, I should say like it's only been an hour to travel this otherwise huge distance, as Cardinfall is massive. You've all grown up in it, so it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but larger than any modern city by a significant amount.
How do we tell what time it is?
Mechanical clocks.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. There's a variety of clocks and displays across different places,
Right.
especially like next to advertisements, that kind of thing. As there's plenty of that. Eventually, and even some streets, depending on where you are, lit up with street lighting, so like it's not dark all the time. But eventually you shoot down into, and you find yourself in a small precinct of Embernox. And there with you is Sheriff Suit, who sits with you, and he goes, well, I think this is your stop. You'll be reporting to me. I'll have another guard escort you to Gorang's house. And from there, you are on your own. Keep in mind, make sure you gather evidence. If you mess up, you're going to be arrested.
Of course.
Ryan, I texted you a question.
Sure. And between you and me, things can get nasty in the Scale District sometimes. We have to behave a little bit differently than other people. Be careful. We aren't a violent district, but people do die.
Right. Noted. Thank you.
You got it, officer. We will do our best not to die.
I guess that means not dealing drugs to random people or pulling out bagpipes?
Excuse me? People love my bagpipes.
Life, you don't have to tell me how to live mine, okay?
Look, you wanna run around here and eat dirt and skin rats for your dinner, or do you want to sit comfy cozy in a tavern and drink fine beverages? Because if you prefer option B, I suggest you don't insult my instrument skills. Because otherwise, I'd like to see you make us an honest living while we're trying to investigate some dead guy.
Alright.
Everybody knows me.
I know some people. I don't think I know anybody here though.
Maybe not everybody.
Do I?
Some
Probably
people.
not.
Have I ever been in this side of town, Ryan? Probably
Probably not.
not. Yeah.
Um,
People here don't
hold
know me,
on.
but people back home know me real well.
Where are you from?
That's a great question. Ryan, where did we just come from? I don't really get around very much. I kind of stick to my own little neighborhood, you know.
So that's this one's a little bit louder, so it might be worth turning down a little bit. You were from the Embernock Spire is kind of like its own district of a sort. There's a lot of stuff going on around it, and since it is such a massive spire, it needs shops and residence housing around it to support its people that work there. So that's where you kind of were. There's a bunch of other districts down at the bottom that I'm not exactly prepared to describe at the moment. But you're probably not from Gearhold. You're probably not from the Scale District. So we can just say the area surrounding. You spent a good bit of time in the area surrounding Embernox for a little while now.
I kind of have my own neighborhood. You know, people know me. I can kind of walk around pretty freely and not worry about, you know, getting murdered or anything. I prefer those parts of town. So, you know, I don't really venture out into unknown territory very often.
Makes
So,
sense.
despite the state of this place, or the state of Cardinfall as a whole, this one isn't such as city-like as the other ones. You can hear birds. There's a lot less towers
A lot of bells
here
in
than
there.
usual, and bells actually. As this place almost looks rural in a lot of ways. There's still some skyscrapers on occasion, but a lot of things are built out of wood or very old-looking bone. A lot of bone. A lot of structures are made out of bone or scales themselves. People are instead of cement roads, there's just kind of a dirt on the floor on top of the giant scales that you're walking on. And as you're walking, you almost feel, after a little bit, you almost get nauseous with the constant rise and fall of the earth. It seems like since the constant movement of the ground underneath, they really never just bothered with developing things like roads, proper roads. So it's just kind of like dirt and scale. And the bells are not just a thing that is getting annoying. There are churches nearby pretty regularly, and throughout them, not only do you see churches for Lathander, the morning lord, but also you see you also see people walking around in these red and black robes. You see people that look covered in like this white and brown dust, sometimes black. So many of them carrying pickaxes. Nobody here is clean. It's people are always dirty, and that's what you see.
I don't know anybody here, right?
You actually might make a general charisma check for me.
Oh. 14.
What was it?
14.
14. There is actually a person you know around here. Kind of a lowlife. Never really gotten into any trouble. Was born into a semi-wealthy household, but had since been kicked out. Had since been kicked out, and yeah, he lives about an hour away from here, by a pleasant walk. And you have, by the way, been given an address to the home of Goreng.
Well, you guys.
And you did sell drugs to this person.
Okay. I know somewhere that we could probably crash for relatively free.
I don't know if I trust any location that you want to take us to, because it's probably filled with drug addicts.
You guys. No, it's a very nice guy. He's only bought from me like once or twice. You really need to get over this stigma of people who use
That's-
recreational drugs.
It's more times than I want the owner of the place I'm staying to have bought drugs from
Do you want to pay money to stay somewhere, or do you want to stay somewhere for free or relatively cheap?
Sounds to me like we would still probably be paying money to stay there.
I mean, if anything, it would be me just exchanging drugs for a place to stay.
Would it be safe?
Probably.
There's the
And
issue
now,
though.
why not?
I don't know if I want my lodging to be paid for with drugs. Not necessarily on principle, but just for the simple
I'm
fact
trying
that
to help
if
you
the
here.
owner of the facility I am staying at takes drugs as payment, I don't really trust him with my sleeping body.
Quipper, I don't know if you're aware of the state of the world that we live in, but most people use drugs.
I'm aware of this.
So you're not going to escape it. I just think you're biased based on your opinion of me, and quite frankly, I'm offended.
See, yeah, no, I mean you kind of hit it on the head. It's not really the drugs part. It is a little bit the you part. Like,
Can you not just trust me on this
here's
one
the thing. Here's the thing. Back when I used to, like, I get a little wild sometimes. I wouldn't buy them from you. I gotta say, if I were to do it, I don't know if I would trust that.
Should you really be having this conversation about drugs in the middle of a place where we haven't been before?
Why don't we
It's a good
go
point.
to the house of the person who was brutally murdered in their sleep, and then we can figure out where we're sleeping tonight.
Right. We've got to.
Great, let's go.
I guess we follow the. I don't know. We go to the address.
We go to the address.
Do any of us have any idea where we're going?
By the way, Karena, to fix your orb, you need 5 gold worth of material.
Okay.
And you need to succeed a Tinkerer's Tools check.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Do any of us have any money?
Nope.
Sweet.
Any money you had went to any money you had went towards your bail.
I figure. All right.
Yeah. All right. So you start heading that direction. You're going to Gorang's house.
Yes.
Yes.
You eventually come across a house. It is made mostly of wood, reinforced with a little bit of scale on the walls, and some bone pillars. But it looks very standard for this. It's not. Yeah. The door is like worn down wood. There's like holes through it, kind of thing.
I will be back shortly. My dog desires to go outside. You guys can continue if you want to, though.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
I'm turning down the volume of the thing because the bell is like.
Yeah, you should do that. Adjust it accordingly, because each one is going to be a slightly different volume.
Why is this not working?
Do you think that they left everything untouched? Just going to walk into a murder scene?
Wouldn't that be kind of cool though?
You and I might have very different definitions of cool.
Well, I'm gonna go and look around outside of the building to see if there's any broken windows or
That's
like
excellent.
broken doors. Signs
Make
of,
an investigation
signs of
check.
forced entry.
Hmm.
Wow, I am really good at investigation. Let's do this thing. 14.
Really?
I rolled a 14. I have a +0. It is a 14.
Very nice. I was like, wow, that's pretty high. None of the windows are broken. You go to inspect the doors. They do have locks. They're really basic and simple, but there doesn't. You even look around the keyhole. There doesn't seem to be scratching on it or anything. It seems like no forced entry.
Okay.
So they said that no one else is on this case. It's just us.
It's just you.
Okay. I was worried about, getting our fingerprints on everything, but I guess if no one cares enough about this poor person, then I guess we can just go in.
Since there are no signs of forced entry, it can be determined that either one, somebody's really good at this is 2 fingers, somebody's really good at lockpicking, or 3, or whatever. They were able to just walk right in. Like maybe they knew him.
Perhaps.
Oh, what if it was his partner? And he was like, wait, partner as in business partner? Or romantic partner?
I guess we'll find out.
It could be like a scorned lover. And
I'm assuming that because this is a murder scene that their partner isn't still living here?
well, I mean, like they can be like a scorned lover and he was like, I'm kicking you out. You can try.
So you're saying he might have been the murderer?
No.
What?
Oh my goodness. Finn is his partner. Say that Gorg was like, I don't want to be with you anymore.
Go, Ren.
Yes. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm kicking you out. And then Finn says, you can try. And then Gorg,
Go, Ren.
he's like, I'm doing it. You're out.
I
And
try
then
to open
Finn's like, no, and then slashes his throat.
Can I open the door?
Yeah.
So it's not even locked or anything?
Oh, sorry, you were given the keys for it.
Oh, okay.
But it was. Yes, it was locked.
I guess we should do some internal investigation then. Maybe. I wonder if. Well, first off, do we see anything that's like obviously broken, or is it just like death?
So, you open the door, and in front of you, you see the room with its wooden panels on the floor, ceiling. This room that you're entering has a kitchen on the left side with a small countertop, a stove top, a small area for a fire in the center. This area is much less technologically advanced than other parts. There's the various cooking utensils and a setup for that kind of thing. On the right hand side, there's a small kitchen table kind of thing with 4 chairs around it. Yeah.
But nothing seems like broken or anything?
Make a perception check.
I want to look as well.
Then she can have advantage.
Oh, I was gonna roll my own individual one.
You know what? That's fine. There's only 2 of you. Yeah.
Perception.
5.
What did you get?
23.
Yeah. Then you look around. In this room, there doesn't appear to be anything broken.
Okay. I guess I'll.
This
just kind
of
look
dust
around.
is very suspicious.
In the next room, I'm looking for if there are any clocks.
Oh, okay. So there is a next room. There's a door. There's a door attaching to this. Do you open that?
Yes.
Okay. You open that up, and as soon as you open it, you can see what appears to be. This is a small house. This is the only other room, obviously, inside of the house. There is what appears to be a combination of a small workshop / desk and a bed, kind of a bedroom setup. And in the center of the room, sitting by the desk, there is a person there, looking gout, somewhat rotting, but only has been there for about a day. A corpse laying back in its chair with its throat slit, and dark marks around the along the slit. The desk itself is filled to the brim with papers, somewhat askew. You're not sure if he was just a bad organizer or if it was or it was thrown about.
And there aren't any I was specifically looking to see if there were like any broken clocks.
I would say there's a clock in the room, but it isn't broken.
Okay, never mind.
So we do not know time of death.
No.
No.
I guess we should look at the wound that he has. Is there any way of discerning? Like, obviously, something sharp caused it, but like marks.
There's all these dark marks. Yeah, is it like necrotic?
You can make a medicine check to try to
I want to do
identify
that.
it. Tell you what, any of you can make a medicine or arcana check.
Ooh.
I'm pretty bad at both, but I can do it for fun. I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try.
Pretty good at both of them, but okay.
A Goreng, by the way, is a tiefling. He has
Wait,
human
why did I
skin
roll
tones, and small horns that poke out of his hair.
I got a natural 20 minus 1 equals 19.
With which one?
Medicine.
Okay. Grenna?
Oh, was I rolling too?
Oh, yeah, I see.
That was not so good. That was 7, so 12.
Okay. So you notice that, first of all, the throat was slit with a very sharp blade. There's no, like, it was a smooth cut. It was done, it was well done, let's say. There is the burn marks around it. They are certainly burn marks, as if the blade itself had flame attached to it. But as you're investigating it, the flame is a little bit... It looks different than a normal burn wound that you saw. It didn't like melt the skin like you would expect, because there wasn't proper heat. So what an academic might understand about different things is, just as magic is infused into this world, there is magic that helps human bodies run, of all creatures in this world. If this magic is taken away, the cells are destroyed. If now fire will destroy the material part, which is just as effective. However, if you have something like radiant damage, that would overcharge the magical energy inside of it, inside of the cells, therefore destroying them. Or if you were to use necrotic, it would suck the energy out of the cells, causing it to once again be destroyed. It's just a different way of going about things. You don't necessarily understand it to that complexity, but you do recognize this to be indeed radiant damage.
Sounds like a lot of science.
So,
that is my
right.
scientific explanation for what radiant and necrotic damages are, and I wanted to shoehorn that in at some point.
Right.
So, well, it could be somebody from one of those churches, right?
I guess. I can't imagine who else would have access to that kind of magic.
Yeah.
Can I
What
see...
about his notes?
Yeah.
What's in his notes? What language are they in?
They are in common.
Oh, boring.
Yeah. However,
oh my gosh.
Sorry, I am...
So bad at sitting in chairs.
Dude, it's hard sometimes.
Gotta get yourself a comfy chair like me.
Yeah, this is just an old kitchen chair that my mom had.
I feel like such a pro gamer nowadays. I have a gamer chair. I got 2 monitors. I still use a laptop, so that's gotta change eventually, but we're getting there.
One day. Maybe someone had some sort of grudge on him, because this seems like a very practiced attack.
Scorned lover.
I guess if their lover was trained in assassinry with daggers with radiant...
Open. I wouldn't put it past him.
So, sorry, you were looking at the notes. the notes don't, despite the work environment, you don't see any notes directly about any type of work. But you do see notes to himself that are non-professional in nature, but occasionally contain hints about what he does. Could the people looking at his notes do an investigation check? Just search through and kind of piece things together.
17.
11.
You eventually gather while the desk is totally lacking anything directly about how he's doing it. He's doing some kind of magical research of the necromantic type, which revolves around taking undead creatures that are already existing and making them last indefinitely. Because some of the problems with undead is they fade over time, they become non-cooperative, and that can be problematic. And yeah, that's about what you see. You also see some notes about Finn having left for what seems to be at least a little while. And you also see something about a person named Baharat and he had some frustrations with him. It doesn't list anything specifically, but that is a name that pops up more than once.
Okay, well, it seems pretty obvious to me what's going on here.
What is that?
Okay, well, obviously, this wound on his neck is caused by radiant energy,
Of course.
radiant damage, which we already thought that it could be some of those church people. And then he's doing necrotic work. So maybe they were like, oh, he's doing unnatural stuff.
Maybe they had some sort of grudge against him.
And
Make a history check real quick, by the way.
me?
Yeah.
17.
17. It appears that this area, well, you know, you've been here for a little bit before, briefly. Within the city, there's nothing illegal about doing necromancy. Also, different regions might have different taboos on different types of things. This one in particular has nothing against necromancy, on the grounds that many of the magics that keep the Tarrasque asleep involves necromancy. Because they're digging into its body, taking its scales, taking its bone, and you can't do that without waking it up unless you do something special.
Sure. Okay. So, maybe that theory
More of
is...
a personal thing?
Well, I suppose this Baharat person's the next go.
Right. Quicker, you seem to know some people. Have you ever heard of that name?
I'm trying to recall.
You don't seem to remember anybody by the name of
Nah,
Baharat.
I don't think I've ever heard a name like that before.
No.
Oh,
But I will say,
does-
with my experience, if anybody's gonna have a name like Baharat, it's probably gonna be some religious nut.
it's funny. Anyway.
Just saying.
Well, I guess we could try visiting one of those churches and doing a little, I don't know, recon?
Oh, I am so good at recon.
I'm sure.
More or less. I'm not a very sneaky guy, to be honest with you,
Oh,
but, you know,
I am so sneaky. I am so sneaky.
I mean, I dabble in sneaking, you know. Look at like me, I kind of coast under the radar more than
I can
anything.
do sneaky stuff while you guys do talky stuff.
I do like talking a lot.
Yeah, you do.
So, I guess, what's the nearest church then, I guess?
Actually, really close by.
Okay.
You walk outside the door, and the ever gray sky greets you with with these gloomy streets. It's kind of unfortunate because the sky is gray above you, and the floor below you is a similar gray brown color because of the scales. This place has a very gloomy atmosphere. There's some there's some crows flying nearby, pecking at some exposed flesh in the ground.
Can't
This
imagine
place
what-
could use some serious partying.
Well, I guess we're off to a church.
You walk towards a church. It has the like, when I say Gothic, like the Gothic I'm referring to.
Yeah,
The
like Gothic
historically,
cathedral style.
yes, Gothic cathedral style building, with ironically a gray emblem of a sun at the top. And there's just like these dark wood doors in front of it. You see as some monks in these maroon robes with hoods covering their faces, making them dark. It seems like the inside of the robe is black while the outside is red. Two of them, shoulder to shoulder, walk into the building.
Is it possible that while we're sort of walking closer, I just try to like change to look more like the gray of the surroundings, just more of a color, maybe go a little smaller,
Mm-hmm.
and just try to be like overall, like if
A little
if
more
somebody,
muted.
yeah, like if somebody were to look at me, they would like think that they're seeing something, like their eyes would like, they'd be like, oh, my eyes are playing tricks on me, something's not actually there.
I don't know that
That
your abilities are that distinct.
Okay,
You're,
just like kind of chameleon-esque.
yeah, you blend in with the surrounding more as opposed to like the pastel pink.
Is this the same day that we worked on that robot, or has it been another day?
This would be the same day. Speaking of which, the Aether, I assume you have a clock on you.
Probably somewhere.
Yeah. You're starting to near night.
Spooky.
The gray sky begins to grow a little bit darker. But would you like to approach the church?
We start thinking about, where we're going to sleep.
Well, I told you guys I know where we can go.
Could
We
just
can
act
talk
like
about it after we ask some people.
Why do you think?
Or we can just go to my place.
I think that's our only option. But
could just go like find a tavern like normal people.
With
Gosh,
what
we don't
money?
have any money.
yeah, we
Whatever. I could just.
You're not that good at playing.
I'm
the
pretty
lute.
good at playing the lute. I've gotten some free
I've
nights
been.
before, once or twice.
How about we talk to some people, we go to that place and see how it is, and I guess if we're desperate enough, we can find somewhere else.
Boom. I think that's a good idea.
Lead
Maybe
on.
you could walk up to Nix's friend over here by playing some kind of instrument.
I think I will just follow along disapprovingly.
Okay, did those two hooded figures already go in?
Yes, they just went in.
Alright.
I'm deliberately trying to be stealthy, by the way. Should I make a stealth check?
Well, you're kind of just like in the open of a street, right?
Okay.
There's no way to really hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, I guess, Quipper, did you want to walk in too, or?
I mean, is this like a... is this like an all-exclusive club? I mean, it looks like you can just kind of go in. Most churches, you can kind of just be like, hey, I'm here to worship,
I was just going to walk in and ask them, just ask them what they're doing.
Did you murder
or-
anybody yesterday?
Oh, that's a little too far.
Maybe we should steer clear of accusation.
What was the name
Maybe
again? Maybe we could just be
Aether
like, can we
Bowring?
speak to Mr. What's his
Oh,
name?
Baharat.
Bahara.
I feel like
Why doesn't Aether do the talking? I feel like Aether will be nicer to
I can try. I feel like if we bring up the one that was murdered, then they might start getting
Well,
suspicious.
obviously we're not gonna mention that guy. We're gonna mention the guy we're looking for.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go in, and you can do whatever, and then Nyx.
I need to go in so I can like go behind you and then I can sneak around. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think I'll just follow along and be emotional support.
Inspiration.
Just
So, where are you sneaking?
No, we're just
I'm
walking in
not-
the front door.
So my idea kind of is I'm like imagining like it's like I already forgot her Aether. My brain was like, what's camping? Aether and Quipper are like in front, and then like Nyx is like sort of like behind them, and then like once like we're in the door, like Aether and Quipper are right there, and then Nyx is like behind them, and she just kind of like wiggles off and like goes along a wall or something.
Well, we're gonna see what there is inside the building first.
Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what was inside the building, but that's my like general imagination.
So,
It's just
you walk into the building. The oak doors open in front of you, and as soon as you do, there's just like this low droning hum throughout this building, as these monks presumably are sitting around an altar doing low hymns, and it some of them are holding what appear to be cleavers, and there's a body in front of them that they are cutting to pieces. There's one person, there's two people holding cleavers. One of them is currently not using it and just holding the body in place while the other one like starts cutting off an arm. This person appears to be an elderly man that is already dead. As soon as you open, two of the people towards the back, to the back of this circle, amongst the pews, turns and looks at you. They begin to approach you.
Interrupting anything?
No, child. Everyone is welcome to watch the reclaiming. What can we do to assist you? And they go into a light bow.
I'm just
when
here.
they bow, can I try to sneak around?
Sure,
Just
there
poof.
seems... I mean, there's not a lot of cover in this room, right? There's pews, and then by the altar there's some doors into rooms back, but there's not really cover. Like, have you seen a church? It's open rooms.
You could
There's
hide
no way to
behind-
just like...
You could
you can,
hide
like,
behind
dive
a
in the
pew,
pews.
Ryan.
I'm just saying that somebody was looking at you, walking towards you, and then you're just gonna slip away. It's doable, but it's gonna be pretty difficult because you're just gonna have to be like tumbling behind pews, to get somewhere. Like
I'll
it's
stay here for the moment.
yeah. If you want to go about it a different way, then that'd be fine. But like this room may not be the way to do it.
Okay, so
I'm just here out of curiosity, actually. What are you doing exactly?
You seem to be new to these parts. We are doing a process we call the reclaiming. People that die here become processed and fed directly into the stomach of the great beast upon which we sit, so that it may sleep indefinitely.
And of course you figured it out. I'm not I don't know much about these parts. What exactly is this place? What is it called, or what is your organization called, I guess?
Oh, we just call ourselves the Scaled Order.
I I look over to Corporate and I'm just like,
By the way, you're looking at them. The shadow of their hood covers their face. Even now, with this one directly in front of you, you cannot see a face.
we were having some troubles. We had some guys messing with us, and we went and asked somebody who might be able to help us, and they told us that there was some dude named what was his name, the Balthazar Baharat. They said that he's a pretty tough guy. We thought maybe we could find him here.
He does live in this area. We've actually worked with him more than once. Let us see. He works in the bone mines.
Oh, so
Maybe it would be best.
Guy.
Yes, he is tough. A tough dwarf.
Oh, he's a tough.
All right, I'm just gonna mute Lizzie.
I did it more than she did.
In any case, is there anything else we can help you with? We could give you the blood sacrament so that you may be a witness to Lathander.
Not today, thank you.
I usually try to avoid rituals that I don't know about.
Understandable.
Just on a principle.
If you ever have any free time, we would be happy to educate you.
There was also someone we were looking for, just to meet up with, have you, Finn?
I'm sorry? Finn, yes. They never did follow the path of the Crimson Path. They decided to move away. They live in Gearhold now, working in bars there because it made more money. A partner to the poor boy who died recently.
Yes. Well, thank you for your help.
Of course, anytime. Glory to the Morning Lord.
Yes, glory to the Morning Lord.
Is Nyx still there? Or did you, like, go?
Nyx, are you still there?
I'm still there.
Yeah.
I want to do something mischievous.
There are more windows to this building, by the way.
I'm going to, as if Aether and Cooper are sort of walking out, I'm going to transform into sort of the old man that's on the floor and dead, but I'm gonna be zombified, and I'm like, ugh, and just walk out behind Aether and Cooper.
Let me
I feel like you're gonna get smited, I think.
I want to know how capable you are.
You can determine the specifics of your change, including your coloration, hair length, sex, height, and weight.
Yeah.
You make yourself appear as a member of another race. None of your statistics change.
Yeah, you're fully capable of doing that. Oh, that is rude.
It's a little insensitive.
What are you doing?
That's
I'm gonna change back into regular Nyx. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'm so sorry.
It is okay. Not everyone knows the Crimson Path.
I don't think that really has much to do with Crimson Paths. I think that's just having both the sides of your brain still connected to each other.
All it really means.
Right, well, I guess we should be on that path to your friend's house, and now I'm kind of scared.
I don't know if I want you guys coming with.
So you're just
You
go?
don't seem very fun.
I'm sorry.
I like to have fun, okay?
I think
if you have a problem with me having fun, we're gonna have a problem.
How about, I can show you some of my inventions or toys, I guess?
Okay, you're it. But you,
my inventions.
Mr. Loop Boy,
I am very.
I don't understand why you don't like me.
No, here's the thing, alright? Me and, drugs. I don't have a great, there's not a great
so stuck on the drugs thing.
We just don't have a very great history, me and drugs. So, you know, I don't love people that sell them.
How about so you two don't have to talk to each other while we're walking? Maybe you could play us a travel song and we could all just pretend that we are okay with each other's company until we get some sleep and start again in the morning.
Sure, yeah, I guess I could do that. I am pretty good at
Alright,
playing music, at
folks.
least.
Let us march onward to lodging.
All right. You march onward to your house. This is, I had the name and then
Not
I
to my house.
Your
To a house.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
this house is mine now.
I have
Here we are.
claims. Regardless of whether or not I pay property tax, it is mine.
You eventually are heading to your friend's house. You think you remember his name being Che?
Okay.
Che. Chey.
Is that like a ch or a sh?
Ch.
Shut up. Shay.
Like Charlie.
Oh, that's a ch. What is happening?
I said Ch.
It sounded like sh to me.
Oh, it is bad.
You're
Che.
bad at speaking.
We're all trying our best.
All right, Che.
Actually start making it to the house. It's a pretty similar to house to the one Goreng was in. It's seems to be relatively middle class around these parts. Do you go up and knock on the door?
Yep, I do like a really cheery knock. Like,
As you knock on the door, this you hear a lock undo, and then one of the bolt locks kind of stops the door from opening all the way, and you see a little eye go through. Oh, hey, Nix. And the bolt gets undone and opens up. Hey, and you see is this human person with
Human
really
person.
really pale skin. Well, yeah, there's many types of people here. Not all of them are human. They with like this pale, almost gray skin. They have this darker hair that's really unkept. It's kind of down almost shoulder length, but it's messy and kind of oily. They've got like it looks like they're trying to grow out a beard, but it's not working out. A little bit on the overweight side. Hey, what can I do for? Can please come in? Friends? Are they
Friend.
good? Are they good?
That one right there, the halfling guy, he's a little bit mean, but he's good.
Okay, come on in. And as Quipper is walking by, he does want to.
If anything, I am mean because I am good, but okay.
I'm so sorry
Alright.
to barge in like this, but my friends and I need a place to stay for the night, and I was hoping that you might help us out.
Sure, Nix, anytime. Of course, anything for a friend. I am nothing if not hospitable. Let me just move some stuff around. And his house is not well kept. Goreng's house was relatively well kept. This one, there's stuff everywhere. It smells kind of bad. There's some BO in this house, but it's fine. Yeah, let me just I have some bed rolls I can lay out, and I have a fold out mattress on the sofa.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Of course. How long are you staying? Just a couple days, I hope.
We're sort of doing an investigation in the town, so
Oh.
I would hope it's only a couple of days.
Okay.
Do you
Well, that sounds
happen
good
to
to me.
know anything about a guy named Goreng?
I don't know. I don't really get out of the house much. I don't work, so
Should go do some stuff.
yeah.
Life
Well,
is worth living, Jay.
Mika mushroom is worth living.
Well, you should also live life for other reasons.
Also, are you still selling?
We will talk about this in the morning because for tonight, what I want you to do is take a nice walk and breathe some fresh air.
I don't know that that's safe.
Why wouldn't it be safe?
I could get robbed.
Have you been robbed before?
No, but people get robbed. People that leave the house more often.
People do get robbed.
If you live every day afraid of being robbed, you're gonna die alone and sad in your house.
At least
Oh,
he'll
I'm
not
pretty
get
happy.
robbed, though.
You should also be cautious.
There are ways to walk. I mean, we were walking around and we did get robbed.
We're in a
It-
group and it's darker now.
Oh my gosh. Aether, I'm trying to talk my friend out of a rat.
And into a bigger rat, potentially.
No. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Maybe go
I'm
on
actually trying to do something good for somebody, and
maybe
you're
go
over
on
here
a
telling me not
morn-
to.
Maybe go on a morning walk.
Fine.
Anyway,
Since Quipper is so picky about every single thing that I say, you should go on a morning walk. Then you will be less likely to get robbed.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. I think someone got killed the other day.
Yes,
someone
that's
did-
why we're investigating.
someone did get killed the other day.
You wanted me to take a walk while you were investigating a murder?
Oh my gosh. You know what?
doesn't add up.
You
Why
know,
do I
he's got
even
good
try
points
anymore?
here.
Speaking of, do you have? I guess you don't get out of your house much, but have you heard anything about any of those people? Like, not necessarily what happened, but
I don't know. People don't really talk to me that often. I don't know.
that's all right.
Yeah, sorry. By the way, if you want any, I have some carrots, some chips.
You would
Want
Good job,
food?
buddy.
Those aren't code names for things, right?
No, it's just carrots and chips.
Okay.
Chips.
He opens the fridge, and I also have some alcoholic beverages. They're just beer.
All right.
And he opens his fridge. That is legitimately all that is in his fridge. A bag of chips in his fridge.
Nice. If I had a fridge, buddy, I'd use it too.
Oh,
Well, I mean, I feel like it keeps them more crisp.
Shay, you have a job. You wouldn't even be able to buy from me.
No, my family sends me money. They live across the way, and they're pretty wealthy.
I'll take one of those carrots if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. The vegetarian meal. I'm something of a vegetarian myself.
Oh,
That's
Every once in a
definitely
while.
one way to put it.
I'm vegetarian for today. I wasn't yesterday.
I guess we all gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I'll probably not be tomorrow either. I think I'm gonna get some Trask meat.
Right. Nix, did you still want to see one of my inventions?
Oh, I
I
do.
really like this one. I guess it's dark enough in here now. And she pulls out like a cylinder, and she sets it kind of in the middle and twists it, and it kind of like pops out, so it's like almost like a wheel, with metal on the outside, and there are like cutouts of like stars and like little shapes and stuff. I used to use this as kind of like a nightlight, but I'll just show you. And she casts light inside of it and spins it, and it's like the light letting through is like star animations and like comets and stuff that are like on the walls, like it's like projecting stuff.
This is one of the most amazing things I have ever seen in my life.
And begins to spin in place on its own.
Want 3 of them.
Are you just describing the like thing that Hugh Jackman buys his kids in The Greatest Showman?
Yes.
But with
Kind
stars
of.
instead of animals.
In a way,
That's
but
it.
like it projects it. It's not just on the thing.
Sure.
And it's spinning on a top kind of thing.
It's
Use like Nix's eyes, like, like in anime, and they get all like big
Glitter.
and sparkly glitter eyes. Her eyes are kind of like that, like looking at the shapes in the ball and stuff, just like sparkling.
It can be kind of a downer, in this colorless city sometimes. So, I made this.
I love it so much.
Well, I think after breaking this thing, that's the most interesting thing I have to show you. I guess we can either go to sleep if you didn't want to, I don't know, just get to know each
I
other.
mean, I'm pretty tired after that iron golem, but if you guys want to talk, I can talk.
Corinna's mouth moved and nothing came out of it.
I just said Quipper.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm a pretty, I like talking, I like learning things. I always
Or
can use more
you could
material
sleep
for my
and then talk more in the morning.
music.
Uh,
So,
can I buy Mika mushroom or some pipeweed? I would like some pipeweed. I haven't pipeweed in so long.
I have both.
Oh, you have both?
Yes, you can have your choice of one in moderation because I'm worried about your health.
But what if I just buy one for later?
I'm worried about your health, so you have moderation and you will buy one for me tonight. I may consider in the morning, but tonight, one. Which will it be?
I'm gonna go with the pipeweed.
Okay.
How much is that gonna cost me?
How much is it going to cost? Ryan, let me. I don't think I have a price written down.
No, you're just gonna
I kind of wing it.
I mean, you're a drug
You
dealer.
know
I
it's-
don't
you know
think
it's
it's
a-
like a very fixed market or anything.
It's true. Also, you don't. Also, that is a relatively low price drug.
I mean, it's marijuana.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, so 1 gold is like one person's sum for like a day, right? Like working a day. Is that?
For the average person, but the average is very skewed downwards. So, like,
Okay,
I would say a
so-
nice bottle of wine is going to be close to like 5 gold.
So for pipeweed, is it unreasonable for me to say 1 gold?
That might be a little low.
Really? Can I do like?
Oh, you know what? For one application, you're right. That's pretty low. I would say probably somewhere around 2 gold, but you can say whatever you want.
10,000.
You've been so generous as to let us stay. I will sell you it for 2 gold.
Okay. Yep. 2 gold. Mine. Give it. Got it.
Cool.
And he passes you 2 units of
I'm
gold.
so glad.
You see that she's rifled this out of like the bag that Quipper didn't see, but that
And
Aether
now
did
that she's
see.
like interacting with it properly, all of you can see it. Because she's directly drawing attention to it.
I'm so glad that, well, essentially on parole, we are accessories to a drug deal.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I could do this tonight.
You can
Well,
leave.
Maybe
It's kind of too late already. I just witnessed it?
I pulled. I'm still holding the carrot. Maybe I can make something to cheer you up. I know you'll warm up eventually.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm plenty warm. I'm Quipper. I'm a warm.
The meanest person here.
Hey, here's the thing. All right, hang on. I am very optimistic about most things. I just personally get a little uncomfortable around drug dealers dealing drugs
Well-
to people that do drugs.
Guess you're gonna have to get comfy with it, because that's who you're traveling with.
I hand Quipper the carrot that's now a tiny flute.
She touches it and it kind of just elongates and top of the carrot, just like little rods of carrot just go flying off the top, creating holes, and the end shapes itself into a reed. Or that's not a flute, but whatever.
This is I don't know how you just did that, but I would say that that's almost more impressive than just conjuring one out of absolutely nothing.
Well, I don't know if I could do that every time because I don't have, that kind of thing on me. But it's an instrument and a snack.
Well, flutes aren't really in my area of expertise, but I could give it a toot. I'll toot the flute. I do it. I toot the flute.
Go ahead.
I'm not proficient in flutes, but
Oh, well, make a performance check at disadvantage. Or no, just don't add your proficiency bonus, sorry. Silly of me.
22.
22.
Yeah.
Very nice. You do a very successful
I'll figure it out.
little flute
I
solo.
bust out some hot cross buns.
You're pretty talented. Oh, you're musically inclined. You just like play one of your normal songs.
I'm not gonna whip out like Through the Fire and Flames on no flute, but I've held one
No.
before.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, well done.
Wonderful.
That song tasted pretty good.
Well, I guess, should we go to sleep now?
Pretty cool.
Right. Well, I guess I'll find a bedroll.
I will
Yeah.
take the lovely fold-out couch.
Mm-hmm. All right. In this case, you're taking your first long rest
And
of what was been a pretty calm game, except for that one time a guy tried to stab you. I think we should probably take a break now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dinner time.
Very well.
How long are we breaking? An hour?
If anybody is
No idea.
currently watching the stream, which I'm not, it says there are 4 people watching it. I'm not sure if they actually are or not. I'm still trying to figure that part out. But if you are, we're gonna take like how long?
I mean, I want to eat. Maybe just
Probably
stretch
like
my
30.
Like
What do you
half an
think?
hour?
half an hour. Yeah, we can do half an hour.
Well, then we will be back at 7:30. So
Huzzah.
everybody get your snacks and your dinners and I don't know, go to the bathroom, walk your dog or something.
I
Dallas, go take a shower. Get it.